I've given up. It's too.
I didn't shave. I made a shave.
And we are live, guys. Welcome to the channel. This is Friday Night Six Pack is what we're calling it, although we will have a chat about that after. I'm Chris. I'm the Atheist Pastor, joined tonight by Jen and Sam. Anyone who watched last week would know these guys, and hopefully if you didn't watch last week, you subscribe to their channels anyway. The links are in the description down below. Speaking of subscribe, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell so you know whenever I'm going to come on and ramble and get drunk on camera. And yeah, make sure if you like the video, like it, share it, tell all your friends, and get everyone on board. So tonight, so first thing I'll start with is, how's everyone's week been? What's happening in your world, Jen?
Oh, my week's been nuts. Absolutely crazy. I have achieved very little of what I wanted to do this week because it's been crazy.
Excellent.
Worst part of my day this week was when I drove halfway across the city yesterday to do a job, and on the way back, the air conditioner in my car failed in a 39-degree day. And I'm like,
awesome.
Oh, wonderful. And I can't have it fixed till next Thursday. So it's like, yeah, wonderful.
Well, you get to sweat some weight off. That's really good. It's good weight loss routine. Just in time. Well, yeah, summer, you need the bikini body. So.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm still working on mine. I've got a lot of work to do. So, well, actually, it's already summer, isn't it?
I have worn a bikini once in my life.
I can. Well, I don't know if I can proudly say, or if I'm ashamed to say, I've never worn one, but it's probably good for everyone around that I haven't, because I don't think that would be a good sight. I don't think that would be anything anyone would want to see. Now, Jen, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking Chivas Regal, a sherry vat cured, so it's got a nice sherry flavour.
Cool.
Excellent. Now, we've just had a message. I'm just going to pop up from Critical Cripple that I think is fairly appropriate.
Yeah.
And the key aim is to get Jen pissed enough that she rants.
I don't know that I was particularly pissed when I started my rant last time.
Yeah, well, see, I'm a little bit disappointed with Critical Cripple there, because what you've actually done is you've spoiled my plan. We weren't meant to let Jen know about that, but Jen, you just keep drinking, and I'm going to have a chat to.
I'll pretend you didn't say that.
That's all right. Imagine it didn't happen. Sam, how about yourself? How's your week been?
Not too bad. It's been a busy one. The whole lead up to Christmas and scrambling to get everything done, and I need my holiday. I know I just came back from holiday, but the Christmas break, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I assume that you would have gone to church last Sunday. How was that?
It was good. It was really good. I gave 10% of my income, gross, not net.
Of course,
it was an hour of worship. That was really good.
Yep.
I got to speak in tongues, which was fun.
Oh, excellent. Did you lay hands on anyone, or?
No, I was a catcher. I wasn't feeling the blessing, so I had to guide them down to the ground, cover them with a blanket.
Okay.
Be sake, right?
Well, man, there's
Seriously,
a lot of trust in that.
did you used to do the whole speak in tongues thing?
Yeah, I was a good Pentecostal boy. You wouldn't. You would not be you would not be able to do a sermon if you weren't. Like, it's not like there's a checklist. Have you spoken in tongues? But you wouldn't be groomed to those positions if you didn't have fruits of the Spirit. Speaking in tongues.
We can probably pray for you in tongues now if you want. I can still bring it on anytime.
Yeah, you just make it up, so it's easy. Although
it's basically you just start.
Were you aware at the time you were doing it that you were making it up?
I think of it as group psychosis. You see other people doing it and you feel led to do it, and so you do it. And
I mean, I see it the same as scat singing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by scat singing.
Yeah.
I don't mean you singing shit. You're actually
scatting.
What are you doing?
It's one of those things where I think there's a lot of pressure on you to do it, because it's in the Pentecostal circles. It's part of, it was a symbol of salvation. So, I think you just kind of, you relax and
you wouldn't tell anyone, and you'd self-convince yourself that it was real.
Yeah.
I reckon there's plenty of people who make it up, but there's plenty of false.
Like that guy with his mobile phone.
Oh, he's awesome. He's my hero.
That was awesome.
But well, I know. Look, when I was, I guess I deconverted and I was an atheist, but I was still in the church, and I was still praying for people and having to do tongues. I mean, then yes, you know you're making it up. But and it sounded the same as when I wasn't making it up. So go figure.
Just as convincing, even when you knew it was bullshit.
I just channeled my inner Brian Houston. All you need to do is channel your inner Brian Houston, and you can do anything.
That is scaringly realistic.
I've spent a lot of time listening and conversing with Brian. Oh, not a lot of time conversing with Brian, but definitely spent a lot of time listening to Brian. So it was that was my gag at the church. I used to take him off, and they all thought I was great. So that's probably why they all thought I was going to be a leading pastor, and they kept pushing me because I was the next Brian. So go figure. So Sam, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I'm drinking James Squire Orchard Crush Apple Cider. Not quite as hard as the liquor last week, so hopefully I'll get something done tomorrow and make a video for my channel.
Yeah, that works. So yeah. I felt a little bit left out drinking the red wine last week, so I've gone this week myself, and I couldn't help myself. We've got the bottle of Jameson. We'll see how much is left at the end of the night. Hopefully I don't get as messy as I did towards the end of the video last week, but gee, what a lot of fun that was.
You might be doing the rant this week.
Jen, that's your thing. I can't take that from you.
I must admit, I have got nothing for doing rants, haven't I?
Look, you know what? We all have talents. We all have skills. You know, there's things that we're good at. There's things we're bad at. You can rant like no one else.
Oh, no. If you guys have ever seen the Drunk Monkey, what is his name? Help me, CC. What is his name? What's his screen name? Yeah, he can leave me in the dead for a rant. It's amazing to watch him do it, but he's brilliant. And Mero does a pretty good job of a rant too.
Yeah, she ranted pretty well.
Yeah, but
she tends to put logic in her rants. I just go with the emotion.
She's not quite as belligerent as you, though, maybe.
Yeah, I'm belligerent. Yeah, that's the word for it.
I think the problem, though, is I've got no respect for Mero at the moment. I mean, she's chosen to go to a massive conference instead of getting pissed on the internet.
And it's sharing pictures of her with Adam Savage. I'm pissed. Oh, bloody hell. He does
one thing she did put up was Daisy Ridley, and I've got to say, she does look like Daisy Ridley. I can see that. She does. So there we go. And what are we worried about? Because Jen's knowledge of physics is next level.
It's not. I just love physics and maths and everything. Had things been a little bit different for me, had I not had all the other shit in my life dangling over me at the time, I probably wouldn't have done computer science. I would have done a physics degree. But I honestly knew I couldn't cope with it at the time.
Well, it's never too late.
Doing physics in high school.
Oh, no, I can't go through doing a degree. Not now.
Why not?
As much as I'd love to, what would I do with it afterwards?
Put it on the wall.
Like videos.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang it up.
Argument from authority fallacy, Jen. You could always do that.
Yeah, I can always do an argument from authority.
You know what? Then you could dead set have debates with Dr. Kent Hovind.
Oh, fuck no. No. But there's one thing cred would give me. It would probably give me the ability to ask other physicists and that to come and talk with me. You know.
Why not?
I'm gonna leave out. I'm gonna throw out a big thing here that there is a possibility that Mara and I are going to get to interview a very well-known Australian science communicator in January.
Oh.
I bravely tweeted out to him, and he responded in the DM.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I was only joking, but yeah, he responded to us, and there's a very good chance that that's an interview that could be happening. I won't say who it is, just in case it all falls through and it doesn't happen. But like, I was so excited when he replied. I phoned Mero, and it was 11 o'clock at night my time.
So I've just put something in our group Twitter chat. So if you see that would be my guess. So we'll see if I'm right. That way we don't spoil it. But anyway, okay. So a little bit of, I would be.
Yes, you would.
Okay. See, I keep telling people I'm more than a pretty face. It was the Spirit of God guided me and gave me that answer then. So
Hallelujah.
That's proof. It's proof. I've prophesied. So a little bit of channel news. So originally, when I started the channel, the plan was to make videos, edit videos, do things like that. What I've found tends to, or probably be more the channel's theme, is live. So we're pretty much going to go live for most videos, although there could be some edited videos that will pop up as well. Every Friday night, I'm planning on doing a live stream. So similar to what we're doing tonight, and definitely last week. I've given it the name Friday Night Six Pack for the moment, but I would absolutely love feedback and would love to sort of get people's thoughts on if that's a good name, if it's a bad name, or what everyone thinks. So,
I like it.
Any comments? Any comments would be great. Now, I've just had a virus protection warning because my virus protector expires tomorrow, and it was covering all of the comments there, so I missed everything. But I've got everyone back. So, so feedback on it. I ran through a couple of names. I think Friday Night Six Pack, it's something different. So, the idea is we can have up to 6 people on the stream. So we're 3 short of a 6-pack this week, which people normally tell me I'm a stubby short of a 6-pack. So
I love the fact that the chat is trying to guess who it is. No, you're all going to have to wait until it happens because we don't want to put any pressure out there just in case it falls through and everything.
Everyone going,
but because of this happening, Mero and I are actually setting out a few invites to some other communicators, mostly YouTube ones. And what we're hoping to do is put together a little show where the two of us, talk to these other people who are science communicators and bring some more science into the discussion and everything. And those shows will probably go out on Mero's channel just because she has the bigger audience to cover it. But that's what we're looking at doing. So it's something to look forward to next year that we've been talking about and kind of getting in the thing. So even if our star guest falls through, we have some other people in the pipeline that we can go.
But you know what? Because you haven't put it out there who the guest is, even if they fall through. You don't.
Yeah, we can just say, "This is our guest."
No, this is the plan. It was always Jen interviewing Mero.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to interview Mero.
I'll tell you what. No, actually, I'm not going to say. I was going to say if I could get anyone that I could think of from Australia, it would be this person. But maybe saying that would be too close to that person to give things away. So
Albert Einstein. Yeah, that would be interesting. We're going to have a seance.
Actually, you know who would be good to have on? Father Bob. He would be interesting to talk to, I reckon. But anyway.
That'd be interesting.
One of the people we're planning on reaching out to, but I haven't yet, is Dr. Becky. She's an astronomer. She has her own YouTube channel. She is outstanding. We may try and reach out to Gordon Bennett. How can I forget his name?
Please don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Elohim. Sorry, Elohim.
Hank Green. We might try and reach out to Hank and see if he'd be prepared to be interviewed, because although not a scientist, he is a major science communicator and through SciShow, and there's a few others like that I'd like to reach out to. I'd love to get Potholer 64 on. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of his stuff, but he's quite amazing with his debunking of science deniers. So there's a few people like that who would be awesome to get on.
Well, speaking of, I guess, major Australian science communicators, there is someone who a few of us are getting together, and I've spoken to you guys about this, to do a video about, and that is the one and only, the greatest science communicator ever to come out of Australia, Ken Ham.
Yeah.
So we're working on we've got a few Aussie creators at the moment, and we're working on a bit of a video. It's something that we want to send off to our friends in the US, and it's going to be a bit of a national apology from Australia to America.
We probably better apologise before we send Israel to you.
Well, he's on the way. Now, speaking of Israel, and actually, I didn't have it down to chat about. Well, we probably should chat about it for the people who aren't in Australia, because that's all been settled now. So Israel Folau and Rugby Australia have reached a settlement where Rugby Australia ended up apologising to him.
Yeah,
what do we think about that? I mean,
yeah, they capitulated for no freaking reason. There was no reason to apologize for him. He broke his he went against his contract. They were in their rights to sack him. You know, why do they need to apologize? In all honesty, this is the same sort of crap that happened with the atheist community in Austin. I mean, yeah, okay, the way they went about making their denouncement of rationality rules was over the top, but they didn't need to apologize for it and basically cartwheel back in the other direction. That was crazy. And this is the same sort of thing. There was no need for it. It was just.
I think the issue is that it's a commercial decision, and unfortunately, because this was being tried as a, what are religious freedoms in Australia, that was trying to be tested, and then they've gone, well, forget it. We're spending too much time, too much money worrying about this. Just get it over and done with, which unfortunately is a bit of a negative impact on the story as a whole, because it gets seen as vindication.
There may also be an element, though, there of they didn't want to hear what he had to say in court as well, because he would have been an ass in court. I mean, he's an ass all the time. He would have been an ass.
Yeah, well, it would have given him a bigger platform and it would have kept the story going. Exactly. But I did notice that Raylene Castle, who's the head of rugby, said a couple of interesting things. And the first thing was that that the settlement was less than it would have cost them in legals to take it to court. So I guess there is a commercial decision there.
It's a business decision maybe, which is unfortunate because, there's a big mistake. But
when she was asked if the door was open for him to come back, her response was never say never.
Oh, fuck off.
So,
it was probably devil's advocate. It would have been in the settlement that they couldn't say anything negative about him necessarily. So
yeah, I'm guessing that
was best you can say without
Without
calling. That's the shitty thing about settlements is you don't know what the settlement is, so you don't know what the terms are, so you don't know how to read the discussion afterwards. And
I mean, the honest response was, "We're never having that cunt play for us again." Yeah. But
and is it her choice anyway? Don't the teams?
No, it's not. I mean, it's
contracted.
No,
games.
Well, the board sacked him. But anyway, you know what? I think the less we can talk about Israel Folau, the better, because the guy's a douche. And there's plenty of other douchebags out there that we can have fun at their expense. So why not? Now, ETC and the conspiracy. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. How are things over in the States at the moment?
Cold.
God, I wish.
You can have some of our temperature.
All right, well, we'll take it. I think we got. I think it was 28 degrees Fahrenheit on the way home.
That's under 0 degrees Celsius, isn't it?
So what's that translate to in real temperature?
I don't know. We're broken.
What's the go with that? When are you guys going to get on the metric system?
Hopefully never. When are you guys going to come around to the regular, real inches and feet and stuff like that?
Them's fighting words. See, this is why we send you guys Ken Ham.
No, you can have him back.
You are negative two.
No return.
Actually, that's a bit shocking.
What's that?
-2.
-2.
Under the freezing point of water.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about 4. It's about 4 degrees Fahrenheit under the 32 freezing level.
All right. So Jen was saying where she was, it was 39 degrees. Is that right?
Yeah.
Celsius.
So
today was about 37, which is I think about 90, 92, 93.
You
degrees.
multiply by 6 and you add 36 to the number to get Fahrenheit, something like that.
Yeah. I only know them roughly in my head. It's hard to translate.
It's a horrible conversion.
It is a dreadful conversion. I've got an app.
At least feet and inches, it's like 2.5 centimeters.
I've got an app. I can figure out the sides of a triangle.
So it's nice and early in the morning where you are, I'm guessing, ETC?
Well, yeah, it's 6:23 a.m., but it's for me, I work third shift, so it's like 6:23 in the afternoon. So
nice.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask you the same question we asked everyone. What are you drinking? Yeah.
Just caffeine-free Pepsi. I got to go into town after this, so.
You have no booze?
I got to go into town after this. So, no drinking.
No drinking. Oh, I'll have to drink your share.
Yeah, you probably will. What'd you get? What is it? Rum?
Chivas Regal.
Scotch.
Oh, Scotch.
So hang on. By that reaction, so Chivas Regal isn't a thing in the US, obviously.
The bottle's familiar, but I said I'm not. I mainly drink whiskey.
Yeah, I'd imagine that people with the Tennessee whiskeys and stuff.
If I held up a Jack Daniels, he'd be much more happier.
Oh yeah.
So if I ever get to visit the US again, then I go and visit Jay and Raven, we'll be drinking Jacks.
Oh yeah.
Bundy rum. Take some Bundy rum.
Oh, no Bundy rum.
Absolutely.
He hates it when I say I have a Bundy.
And she's having a Bundy. No, you're having rum.
What's a Bundy?
I've got Bundy rum though. That's an interesting one. Whenever I drink Bundy, it makes me angry. Like it's dead set fighting juice.
Yeah.
Really?
Doesn't do that to me.
I don't know.
I have never found a booze that makes me angry. Mellow and talkative. Sweary. Yep.
Raven says.
No, surely not.
Raven said she hates whiskey. She'll have a Bundy.
Yes, we'll have a Bundy.
All right. Well, that works. We'll send a care package over.
Well, if she's going to drive, then I'll go make something. So I'll be right back. She's going to drive. I'll agree with that. I'll be right back.
We've got it writing. Sensational.
That's teamwork.
Leave it to Aussies to make a really good influence on someone at 6:23 in the morning.
It's a drink.
Hey, it's 9 p.m. somewhere.
Absolutely. Now,
25 here. Hey, start early.
Before we get into the video tonight, I want to talk about a guy called Fred Nile. Now, have you guys heard of the Reverend Fred Nile?
I'm really bad with names. You talk about actions, I might know, but names, no, clueless. Okay,
so Fred Nile has been a member of the New South Wales Parliament. He's the head of the Christian Democratic Party, and New South Wales, for those overseas, is one of the states in Australia here. So each state has its own parliament as well, or I guess I don't know what you call it.
Very similar to the US.
Overseas. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Where there's a lower house like a Congress, and then there's an upper house, which we also call the Senate. So Fred Nile's been a senator in New South Wales for, I think I was reading, since 1981. So he's been around for quite a while. And he's 85 years old, I think it was. But I came across a story yesterday, and I just wanted to, I guess, share it because it certainly brought a smile to my face. And I'll just bring that up.
Nice. Jack Daniels.
Gentleman Jack.
Oh,
good choice. So Fred Nile, his party is in turmoil. He's got only himself left in the parliament, and he's sacked his entire board because, as it turns out, Fred Nile's new wife is the most qualified to take over after he leaves. So all the people who have been there waiting in the wings. Now, what used to happen was, so Fred's first wife, before she passed away, was always, on the ticket for, it's whenever there was an election, it was, Elaine was up there. And anyway, after she passed away, he very quickly married another lady, Silvana. And as soon as that happened, she suddenly became the most qualified person to run for everything. So there's been a few people who have been waiting quite literally 30 years for him to move on. And as that time's getting closer, he's decided that, no, he's not going to do that. But what really cracked me up was the guy who's tried to take him down was this 18-year-old guy here who's tried to take on old 85. And if you just have a look at the two contrasting pictures. Sorry?
Are his teeth actually glinting in that photo?
They look like they do.
They do, don't they?
I can kind of see Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Lord.
I don't know who'd be more insulted by that.
Doesn't Fred Nile's eyebrows make him look like a fucking alien? One of those plastic crazy aliens in Star Trek.
Cooper Haddock from Dune.
Oh dear. So I just want to
eyebrows.
It makes me insanely happy that it looks as though the Christian Democratic Party is gone, and that will basically be the end of far right Christian parties in the country, because Family First is gone, the Democratic Labour Party is gone. Yeah, well, Family First merged with the Conservatives, Cory Bernardi's party, but then Cory Bernardi's announced that he's closing down because they didn't win any seats. So. It's
made up, though. Somebody else will call out.
There's One Nation. They're still crawling around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We won't go there. We won't go there.
There's always Pauline Hanson to give us a giggle.
No, she's funny.
Yeah. If she wasn't so serious about everything she said, she'd be fucking hilarious. She has brilliant comic timing. She doesn't even know it.
I reckon one day she'll come out and it'll all turn out it was just a big G up, and she's been having us all on for all this time.
But, she's got the voice for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I think she win Dancing with the Stars or something.
Something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if she come out one day and goes, "The dingo took my policies."
That would require her to have policies. So, oh dear. Anyway, I'm not going to get political because that's never a good thing, especially with me. So we'll leave the politics alone. Now, there was in light of the video. So the video we're going to watch tonight it's the proof of the resurrection in 5 minutes. So, guys, I'm pretty excited that the resurrection's about to be proven, and I guess we're all ready to go to church on Sunday after we convert live on YouTube.
Yeah, probably not going to happen. Is it the minimalist argument? Is that what we're going on?
No, there's a different twist in my opinion, but yeah. It'd be interesting to see your response.
It's good. It's good fun. Well, but the thing is, today something came in the mail, and I think it could be a sign from God, because this was in my letter. Now I've put something down below just so I don't dox myself on location, but we need hope for a better future. I've been invited to church.
Oh, you've been invited? Are you going to go?
Well, I think I should, because look, I'm getting ready because the resurrection's about to be proven to me within a 5 minute period, so I'm excited about that. Ooh, tomorrow. No, see, this isn't a coincidence. I mean, God is clearly speaking to us. So let's bring it. Yeah. I just thought it was funny that it was in my letterbox today. So what I'm going to do is we're going to play this video. Before we do, I guess I want to talk about who the video is by. Now, the video is by a guy called Dr. Kyle Bailey. Now, whenever anyone who's a Christian evangelist calls himself doctor, call me crazy, but, it's...
You're crazy.
You're
crazy.
I feel the need to just confirm their credentials. Even though we've got wonderful Christian theologians like Dr. Kent Hovind out there, I mean, not everyone has the same qualifications. So I just wanted to see if we were dealing with a Kent Hovind doctor or a doctor. So what I did was I did a bit of research, and I found our friend Dr. Kyle Bailey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up his LinkedIn profile, because there's some things that were a little bit interesting, and I think it's always very important to know who we're talking about. So Dr. Kyle is the pastor at Freedom Church, although when I clicked on this, it turns out that the church was actually a different Freedom Church, and he's put the wrong link up. So I hope he was more studious while studying. But something I found that was interesting. Now, he was a professor at Covenant Bible College and Seminary from 2011 till 2016. So, you'd think that that's a pretty good qualification. But when I went down and had a look at his study, he was actually studying between 2008 and 2012 to do his main degree. So he was a professor while still doing his degree. Pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
So between 2011 and 2016,
a bachelor doesn't make him a professor.
No, because then he went on. Yeah, let's not do that. That wouldn't be anything I think any of us would want to read. But he did his master's between 2013 and 2015, and then did Doctor of Ministry at some point undated after that. So, although what's interesting here is you might have his dates mixed up, because 2008 to 2012 would mean that's 5 years of doing a degree for a basic degree. Yeah.
And a bachelor's usually like 2?
It's three where I am, yeah.
In Australia.
Yeah.
I think in the US it's 2 to 3. Yeah. Depending on what you're going for.
But then he's 3 years doing his master's, which is a 2-year process. So I don't know. I don't want to call bullshit on it, but I'm going to say that New Covenant Bible College may not be the. It mightn't be Harvard.
Theology, a Bachelor of Science.
That's what I was going to get onto. Now, Jen, I don't want to ruin it or spoil it, but is this the scientist that you're getting on, that you're interviewing?
No, it is not.
Wouldn't that fall under a Bachelor of Philosophy?
I would have thought it was a Bachelor of Arts.
Arts, yeah.
It's a humanity.
Well, when I was doing mine, it was a direct Bachelor of Theology.
Sciences. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying when I was doing my degree, it was quite literally it was a Bachelor of Theology. So it wasn't arts theology. It was just theology. So, but I mean, obviously different universities, colleges are different. But
it's just the department it falls under.
Yeah, it's the same way that social sciences call themselves science degrees, because they're apparently science.
JM Truth.
I guess, yeah. And apologies to all the people who are doing social science degrees out there. Jen didn't mean that.
I did.
It's a real degree.
I've gone on the record of saying that so many times.
Well,
Jen's rant tonight.
My personal take on it is social sciences are a very soft science, if they're a science at all. They're not in the same league as when you're talking about STEM fields like physics and high-level maths and stuff like that.
Now, I just want to tell everyone who's a social scientist out there, don't hit the dislike button on this video, because these are not my views, or all views are Jen's and reflected of her own. But I'm hoping just like Shivers, that could be her rant. That could be the rant. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here before we look at this video is, so Dr. Kyle, he isn't a Kent Hovind doctor, but he's not a doctor either. I think he's done some study, but I think it's fair to say it's all Christian-based study. So
like a William Lane Craig.
Yeah, but probably
instead of a Hovind, he's more Craig.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And you know what? He would probably be very, very happy to hear that. unless he's a huge Hovind fan.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen the video. I'm surprised he's got this level of education. I'll put it that way.
Why do so many of these people who are better educated than Hovind actually look up to the man?
Because of how much money he rakes in from all those VHS sales.
Yeah, the VHS sales.
Well, hang on, wasn't he giving them away free though? Wasn't it? You can copy it free, and wasn't that always?
No, you're thinking of his kid, like when they post the YouTube videos, and he's like, we want you to.
Yeah, I think Eric,
not the actual sermons that they put on
in an odd way, his son has actually got more morals than his old man.
Oh, big call.
Eric is not the same level of arsehole as his old man. He's close, but he's not the same level.
Putting it out there, the goal for next year is for one of us to be one of the atheists at Kent Hovind Wax next year.
Oh, I'm sure we can manage achieving that.
That's my goal for next year, is to get whacked by Kent Hovind.
You know what? That's a dream of mine. I used to teach Kent Hovind in high school, so I would love nothing more than to have a conversation with him.
I just want to get whacked by him. Don't have to talk to
him. Whack an atheist.
Yeah.
Just make a video with his name in the title.
And just tag him.
Actually, speaking of Hovind, is it just me? And maybe it's because I'm Australian and the accent thing. But does he sound like Kermit the Frog? Is that just me?
There's an animation to do.
I'm just waiting to hear. Hey ho, everybody! It's Ken Hovind.
Hey ho, everybody! I'm Ken Hovind.
All right, so I know we've all been we're all excited for it, so I'm going to bring the video up now. Throughout the video, there'll be plenty of points where we'll stop it because it will need some answering at times. So bear with me, and this is going to be a lot of fun, I think. So everyone who's watching, make sure you add your 2 cents in the comments.
Hands up so we know you're still there, because no one's said anything for ages.
Oh no, Art Against Ignorance just posted something. But
Art should have joined us. I'd have loved Art's opinion on this.
Actually, I'm just going to stop it because I didn't hit the sound button there, and we probably want to actually be able to hear it. So,
I don't know. It might be more entertaining without any audio.
No.
Can we guess what he's saying?
Guess who we're doing next Friday? You sent me the link.
Me?
You sent a link to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I need to see that.
Are you in?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. I'm all over that shit. I've listened to about half that video, and are you fucking kidding me?
You want to bang your head? You want to do what I did in our last video?
Can I just quick observation about this video before you hit play? Now, I listen to the video. I don't watch YouTube videos because I'm fancy like that. But this looks like the cover to a 90s rap album.
It does, doesn't it?
I didn't notice that, but it's
a great name for a group too, wouldn't it? Or a great name for an album.
Anyway.
And it's actually got a pretty cool hip hop beat as you, a dance track as you come into it. So, I'll give credit where it's due there.
I mean, you can imagine a group like Striper having a cover like this.
There you go. That's what I was thinking, more of the 80s hairband.
Oh, damn. Striper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Striper album somewhere.
I used to.
Actually, I'll have to bring up the speaking of Striper and Fred Nile, who we were talking about before. There was a classic video where Fred Nile was on a current affair, and Striper were there with him, and he was talking about how evil and devil's music Striper were, with Striper sitting next to him. That's, if you ever want to see an old fuddy-duddy Christian, that's the video. I'll find that video and I'll send it along to you guys because that is that's classic. Anyway,
he not listen to their music at all.
Art said he's drinking red wine and has a bad attitude at the moment.
Sounds perfect.
Oh,
that's why you should be in here, Art. I was
going to say a little spoiler. Art's joining us next week, so I think you're going to fit in very, very well.
He's going to lose his debate virginity on that dude. Yeah, that's not going to be good.
So that's next Friday, right?
That's next Friday.
Same place, same time for Friday night six pack, or Friday morning for those of us who are drinking JDs at 6 in the morning. Which absolute respect.
Yeah, complete respect for that, Jay.
You know what? Actually, guys, considering that's what he's doing, and normally we discuss this offline, but I'm quite prepared to make you an honorary Aussie.
He already is.
I already am.
Yeah, we already did that.
Been there, done that. But
once again, I'm too late to the show. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna back it up. I'll second the motion. So
yeah, they did that on Down Under Discourse a while back.
Yeah, a long while back. That was the one that Conspiracy Cats joined.
Yep.
Yeah.
Conspiracy Cats.
I was probably praying for everyone back then.
I wonder if we can get Cats to join us for next Friday.
Oh, I don't want to subject him to him.
Oh, Cats would love it. Come on.
I'd rather Cats learned about him and did something on him by himself. That's not.
Yeah, I'll be here. I will be here for next Friday.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've got
for more freaking punishment.
I've got 2 hours of personal time I need to kill before the end of the month, so I just might put that in for next Friday. That way I can start fresh.
Start early.
Yep. Because, oh boy.
Yeah, just
what a way to start the weekend.
Just be aware, Chris, you are going to cop it. Although he is a bit milder since when he did it to Jay, because he got so much flack back from what he did.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
He hasn't chased quite as hard now as what he was, but...
Well, then when he was on the Geek Room and Scientist Mel ripped into him, too. Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we'll have a bit of fun with it, and I look forward to. So I've got no idea who it is you're talking about. But,
you can have a look at it before you put it on.
Oh yeah.
But I'm always up for having some fun.
It's pretty disgusting, but most of what he puts out is pretty disgusting. So,
100%
right, so I just did something awesome there, and what I did was, as I was pouring my drink, I knocked the button and took it a ton forward. So. Let me just get back. This is why you shouldn't drink and YouTube.
YouTube.
So the big question is: are we all ready to be converted after the resurrection's proven?
I'm ready.
Are we ready?
Does that work?
As long as there's consistent logical evidence that points to the resurrection being the most plausible outcome, sure.
Yeah. Well, spoiler alert: that's not going to happen. But
too much, Sam, you expect too much.
Now, Jen, because there's going to be plenty of rant-worthy opportunities here, if you could just have a couple of drinks for me, that would make me really, really happy.
I've nearly finished my second. Does that count?
I finished my second. It's so bloody hot that I'm drinking too fast.
Here's number 3.
You guys,
all right?
It doesn't take much to get me that. So.
But make sure you're well prepared for next week.
And that's what some of my black friends. No,
I've got enough booze in my house that I will not buy booze until next year. Not next year, the year after. It is ridiculous. But off topic.
Since I'm down this way, I'll take it.
I'll put a picture in the chat later. It's frankly hilarious. But anyway, think about how much booze you think I've got from what I'm saying, and I've probably got 10 times what you're thinking. Probably. But
I don't know. The most amount of booze I've seen is in damn it, mental blank again.
The bottler?
No, yeah, bottler. Oh god, why can't
First choice. Dan Murphy's.
Anyway, his entire house is full of homemade Scotch and beer.
Is that Mark?
Nice.
Yeah, that's Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, Mark Fabrici's own, and he has an insane amount of alcohol in his house.
I'm going to get another bottle.
You'll need it. So everyone, pour yourself another drink because as soon as Sam gets back, we'll get this going.
You're saying I need to skull that?
Yeah, you probably should. I think I think it's the right thing to do because I mean, look, people only come here for the Gen rants. So that's going to be the trademark.
Is even though Mature isn't in this one, he will drag my rant out and post it.
Yeah,
absolutely, and I encourage that.
Before we get started, I want to holler at a couple people there in the chat with Iron Raven, my beautiful wife. She's here. Cripple, he's a stalker. He's everywhere.
Yes, Cripple is lovely.
D3's in the house, and of course we've already talked about Art. So good group of people sitting in there right now. So
yep,
all the best people are here.
Yeah.
So everyone's here. Everyone's going to be converted.
We do have Jen, so I guess some of the best people are here.
It's all right. She's 2 drinks down. She's going to be great in about another drink or so.
Oh, if I drink a couple more drinks, I won't. God, I'm not even legible. Legible?
Sounds like you're on the way.
She's already down. Big shout out. Big hello to Lissy Lou there, and welcome to the chat.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so back in the day, I used to be very proud that I'd go out and preach and get people saved. And it's good to know that we've got some people in the chat here, and I'm ready. I'm ready to get saved, and let's do this. So we're all good to go?
Hey, you might end up a pastor again.
Yeah, maybe I could just become regular pastor.
Yeah.
Ex-atheist pastor.
Pastor Sauce, yeah. Pastafarian.
Pastafarian.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's do this. This is going to be fun.
Gary Habermas, an American historian and New Testament scholar, puts forward 6 independent pieces of evidence that the vast majority of scholars, even skeptical scholars,
Habermas, really? I know where this one's going.
We're already going to pause. Anyone who hasn't seen Pelagia's video on Gary Habermas, I'd strongly encourage that you go and have a look at it, because it's good fun. So anyway,
Habermas is writing a paper on why the resurrection is true, but I've been writing it for 10 years, but I haven't published any of it. But it's all true.
Yeah.
Hey, there's 15 points in there, Jen, and that's just in the first 80 pages.
Yeah, I mean, wow, it's yeah. If we can ever see any of it, maybe we can not believe in
D3 says we can have a last with Habermas.
Now, very quickly, I'm just going to say this video is under fair use, so this is for commentary purposes, which we are allowed to do. So there's the legal part out of the way. So let's get back to it.
agree as being established facts regarding the resurrection of Jesus Christ. These include 1, that Jesus died by crucifixion; 2, that very soon afterwards, his followers suddenly and sincerely came to believe that Jesus resurrected from the dead; 3, that their lives were transformed as a result, even to the point of being willing to die specifically for their faith in the resurrection message; 4, that these things were taught very soon after the crucifixion; 5, that James, even Jesus' unbelieving brother, became a Christian due to his own experience that he thought was the resurrected Christ; and finally, 6, that the Christian persecutor, Paul, formerly known as Saul of Tarsus.
All right, so I'm going to pause it there because we've got the 6 points that that prove the resurrection. So
can I start?
Where do we start? Let's start with number 1. So Jesus died by crucifixion. So
prove it.
Scholars
claim
exactly.
Now I do have a take on that one. Okay, if he actually exists, there is a possibility he would have been crucified, but not in the manner that they depict. Because the crucifixion, I've looked into this when I was looking up my stuff for the cross. When they crucified somebody, they actually nailed their legs to the side of the cross, not like this. They nailed them actually through the ankles on both sides, and then they nailed them through the wrists.
Yeah, because the hands won't.
And then not the hands because they won't support it. And a lot of times
they didn't die. Generally speaking, they didn't nail the legs. They usually just tied them.
Yeah, but if they did nail them, that's when they would nail them into the sides, not on top of each other.
And it wasn't a cross like Christians worship now.
No, more likely it was a T.
Worship the freaking cross.
Yeah, a lot of times it would be just like a T or even a tree.
Just a tree with the plank horizontal.
Yeah.
And Jesus carrying his cross? No, he carried his crossbeam. If he carried anything, he didn't carry the whole cross because the cross wasn't put together until they crucified him. But there is still no evidence that he was even crucified. The only evidence they have is
there's no evidence he even existed, and that's the thing. And look, you know what? 5-10 years ago, even mythicism wasn't really something that had a lot of scholarship. But I guess guys like Richard Carrier now. they've really expanded on a lot of the work, and some of the points they bring up about whether he actually existed are very valid. I mean, the fact that at best the first gospel, which was Mark, would have been written about 30 to 35 years, at a guess. And this is in a time where the average lifespan was around about 30. So we're talking an entire generation in a time where there's no internet, there's no communication, there's no TV, it's everything sort of done by letters and word of mouth. To have detailed information, it's not likely. It's really not likely.
So I'm gonna pull up a slightly earlier point. That,
people say talk about how. People point to the differences in the gospel that's the reason why it can't be true, but it's actually more the things that are the same, as multiple accounts should be wildly different because that's the way people tend to record things. But there's so much that's similar between all the gospels, so it's quite obvious they copied from each other. So nobody was an eyewitness to any of these events. Even Paul never claimed to be an eyewitness. He claimed to have,
and that's something that, we'll definitely get to. It's the general consensus is that Matthew and Luke are basically copies of Mark, and with slightly different takes on it. But even when you look at Mark gets a lot of things wrong. Like I think Mark has Jesus go to Galilee, or via Galilee, in something that would have been like a 50-mile detour. So Mark isn't actually familiar with the geography of the region. So there's a lot of little things like that. There's a lot of inconsistencies. There's things that were added after.
Because they were right, populace that they wanted to sell this narrative to.
Yeah, but even if there was someone called Jesus who did live and was crucified, that proves nothing. There would have been a lot of people crucified at the time.
I mean, if a Jesus figure did exist, it's more likely that it's a composite figure of multiple ideas that were around.
Like King Arthur.
That the narrative was built later of a Jesus figure based on some itinerant preacher who may or may not have been named Jesus, than it is that Jesus, as depicted in any of the Gospels, actually ever existed.
Yeah, exactly right. So the second point is his followers quickly came to believe.
No,
sorry, I love Davros's comment. Yeah, they came quickly.
Weren't you going to say something, Sam?
Yeah. So this was all set up by our friend on this video. I've already forgotten his name because I don't really care about his name. But he set this up as scholars have a consensus on these facts. And they're being presented as these are facts that scholars agree on. So it's a false setup in the video already. Before he even gets to these 6 points, he's falsely set these up as facts of occurrence as opposed to facts of what is reported by people that believe. So the presentation here is this is what frustrates me with apology.
Theologians accept this.
No. It's more deceptive. It's more deceptive than that, right? Because what often happens is they'll claim that this is historically accepted by even secular historians. Historians that aren't Christian, they will accept that these things are what are reported by the Christian faith. They don't actually accept these as these facts occurred, but he's presented these as people, everyone agrees that these things happened and therefore the resurrection is real. Not the case. These things are accepted as claims. They're not accepted as evidence for the claims. That's what frustrates me the most about this part of the video.
Yeah, they translate the whole concept that scholars exist. Scholars accept that Christians existed in the 1st century and before.
Yeah. They accept that there was
they don't accept Christianity is true.
The claim that there was a person called Saul who became Paul. They accept that claim is historically relevant at that time. They don't accept that that is a fact of history.
Well, I think most historians actually accept that Paul probably existed. I mean, unlike Jesus,
I'm talking about the mystical experience that led to his change of heart.
No. Well, I mean, he could have had a mystical experience. People have mystical experiences all the time. People have visions all the time. It doesn't mean they're real.
I do too with enough whiskey.
Yeah. So, I mean, Paul claimed an awful lot of visions in his life and that these revelations through vision. So it's quite probable that Paul had some form of mental condition that was causing his visions, a psychosis of some description.
Guilt.
Bad hookah.
Yeah, guilt.
Or he realized,
was that, yes.
or he did the L. Ron Hubbard and realized that there was some money to be made from religion, but who knows? So the second point we've got
money in religion back when Paul was doing it. That there is
that could have been groupies. You never know. I mean, back in the day, it was all the Roman Empire, lots of things happening. Who knows? Those when you read those letters he wrote, those churches were pretty wicked.
If I was in the Roman times and I was going to pick a religion, it would be Athena. Just saying.
But this concept of his followers quickly came to believe, over a couple of centuries for Christianity to get big enough that it actually had an impact? I mean, in all honesty, Mormonism has grown faster than Christianity did.
Yeah, with Mormonism,
and you can
prove the Mormonism gets me because they proved that he was a fraud. And they still believe the bullshit that came out of his mouth.
Yeah, but you can actually prove he existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. But the thing that gets me is, so his followers quickly came to believe. Now, imagine for a second that Jesus is the Son of God and performing all these miracles. So if you're going around with him, watching him bringing Lazarus back from the dead, casting spirits out, healing lepers, would that not be enough? Like, why would you need him to then die and come back to life? Like, why wouldn't that be enough at that point to prove that he had some supernatural power? And it probably goes into the third point as well. So to me, that makes no sense. So I guess
there's nothing unique about this aside from other religions. Even if you go outside of the Judo religions, it's not unique. Like there's plenty of other religions where this is true. Like it's not evidence for the resurrection; it's evidence for human conditions.
I mean, how many? And I'm going to use Buddhism here. Sorry, Jay, but I mean, you're not a spiritual believing Buddhist anyway. But how many early Buddhists were prepared to die for their beliefs?
I don't know the answer to that.
You know, there was quite a lot of them. I mean, look.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, looking at that, you just have to look at the Buddhists, the monks that set themselves on fire.
That was a form of protest, though, right?
But I mean, they were willing to die, and so I mean, it's. I guess that's not really the best example, but yeah, I mean, because a lot of them believed if they reached a certain point and they passed on, they could be resurrected if they felt that, if they believed they reached enlightenment, then they would, to go to nirvana.
And that's no different to these guys. They believed they were going to heaven, so they were prepared to die for their faith.
But even if you have a look at Islam, I mean, Muslims were prepared to at the start. Muslims were prepared to die at the start. That doesn't prove that Muhammad was a prophet. So, exactly. What does that prove?
What about all the Christians in the Crusades? They were prepared to die for it.
I mean, the Japanese kamikazes in the Second World War.
The kamikazes.
The emperors,
Jonestown as well.
Yeah, Jonestown. Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate,
yeah.
I mean, this is
like,
not
it's
an
not
argument.
Unique.
This is an argument for indoctrination, not an argument that something's real.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you put up with demonic Davros, I mean, if you go through the Gospels, by the time you get to John, Jesus is basically portrayed as a superhero. He has every single power of the sun that can do it to extenuating ability.
He starts to market this very human character and then goes on to, basically Superman.
You get to Revelation and he's basically Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
No, that's not fair because I don't think Thanos was as evil as God. So I think God's much more evil. I mean, Thanos only wiped out half of humanity.
I don't think Thanos was evil at all.
No, I don't think Thanos was evil, but
he had a misguided sense, but I don't think he was evil.
Revelation, it was a third of the sky, a third of the land. Like, it wasn't half. Thanos could do half. Jesus can only do a third.
So therefore, Thanos is better.
Yeah.
And we've got video evidence of Thanos too. So, hang on. Thanos is God.
This concept of number 4, and I'm sorry to move on. That
resurrection. No, that's all good.
The resurrection was taught early. If you actually read Paul properly, Paul really doesn't talk about a resurrection.
Well, out of the books that Paul wrote, and I don't have the list of the ones, but I think it's the consensus is only 7 of them were actually written by Paul, and none of them actually deal with Jesus as an actual person. They deal with him as a spirit or a spiritual person.
They're all a spirit who comes to him in vision. So he never
the first time the resurrections comes up is in Mark. Yeah, so it's 35 years later, or 30 to 35 years later, if there was a Jesus, that this actually comes up. So that's an entire generation in that era. That's not being taught early. So I'm absolutely calling bullshit on that one.
What's the purpose of the resurrection anyway? God has to come down to earth as a human to kill himself, to save us from sins that he could forgive us from out of the goodness of his heart in the first place.
Actually, I'll never forget, and it's funny that you say that. I threw a post up on Facebook about 6 months ago, and I put that I just read that the ancient Bronze Age Palestinians believed that their God sacrificed himself to himself as a workaround for rules that he made. And a stack of my Christian friends wrote, haha, that's crazy, and things like that. And then all this, only Jesus saves. And I'm just there going, oh, if you guys only knew.
It's exactly the same thing. But it's stupid. I mean, this is the point from that I mostly like to point out to Christians is that if your God has to come up with a loophole to get around laws that he made up for himself to forgive you because he can't forgive you himself, he is not all powerful.
So when he knows everything that's going to happen.
Their apologetic, though, is that
it's a loophole to drag you away from Satan. Satan is more powerful than God.
Their apologetic, though, is that it's a demonstration of his love. That's why they
how is killing yourself when you can just say, I'm sorry, from my perspective, if you can turn to somebody and go, I forgive you with no conditions attached, that is a bigger sign of love than saying, hey, look,
I'm not saying
it's all forgiven.
It's apologetic.
I'm not saying it's logical. I'm not saying it's logical. I'm saying that putting yourself through pain is seen. So you're familiar with the flagellants, the monks that would whip themselves, right? That's the Christian idea of showing love, of showing devotion, is putting yourself through pain.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
So that's why the crucifixion of Christ is referred to as the Passion of Christ, because it was a demonstration of God's passion for people.
Is a form of masochism.
Yes. That's why you crucify your only son, because you're a masochist. You don't do it because you're loving.
You do it because you're a fucking masochist. Yeah. See, this is my problem in total with the whole Christian thinking. And I mean, apart from Jay, all of us had this thinking. And it boggles my brain that I could think like that. I could ever think that was good. Well, actually, when I was still a Christian, I actually said that the resurrection didn't matter in a church service. I said whether or not a resurrection actually happened is irrelevant to whether or not there is a God.
You went to a fairly liberal church, actually.
I did, and I wasn't ostracized for it, even though a few people did not like me saying it. I also said the virgin birth was bullshit and obviously wasn't true, and it was probably more a case of God anointing this person as their only son, but that's beside the point.
You weren't a very good Christian, were you?
You filthy heretic, Jan.
I was a heretic. I was a heretic even when I was a Christian. But that was because of my dad. My dad was very forthright in thinking. My dad actually believed that the concept of God came down through Mithraism. So that was the kind of Christian household I was brought up in, that ultimately Christianity was a form of Mithraism. Could
be. Now, the next one is, I guess, an interesting one, and that's Jesus' skeptic brother came to believe. Was Jesus' brother's mother not telling him about the virgin birth and the Spirit of God and all the miracles and all the things that happen? So if you grew up with Jesus now, and I know that there is there's question as to whether it's brother as in the actual biological sense, or brother as in it's the my brethren,
a fellow believer.
But the way that that our good friend Dr. Kyle has presented this is that it's Jesus' skeptic, actual biological brother.
The tradition in the church I was from was like Joseph's son, James.
My question for that is, where in the Bible does it actually say that James is skeptical of Jesus at all?
I want to say Acts, but it's been a while, so I might be wrong.
Because I'm trying. I've read my Bible cover to cover, at least twice, and I am struggling to remember where this is.
I think it might be Luke. Actually, I think it may be towards the end of Luke.
Okay. So
a couple of years
one
of theology study,
writer mentions that James didn't believe, and then he came to believe,
which is part of the story.
Nobody else mentions it, and we're supposed to take that as being proof.
But it's the same source as the claim. It doesn't matter. It's not evidence. Sorry, it's not good evidence if it's not external to the claim. Like it.
Yeah.
No, just because you come to believe something doesn't mean it's true. I mean, look at all the Mormons and Scientologists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both them religions are 100% bullshit, but there's still people that believe them. So.
You telling me that Lord Xenu isn't a thing?
No.
Xenu.
It goes right in there with the star seeds.
When Lord Xenu breaks out of galactic prison, he's coming after you first.
He's going to have to
drag you. He'll drag you to that volcano.
He's going to have to rip me away from my Orion starseed, though.
They're all coming out. So point number 6, Paul the persecutor came to believe. I'm just going to say, so what? It happened
just like
after.
Claim number 5.
Paul never met Jesus. Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, Paul the persecutor came to believe is the only claim in that I could take as being factual. We have Paul's word for that.
Yeah.
And so what? He's one person. Just because he believed it doesn't. I mean, lots of people start believing lots of things. Should we all believe Scientology is true just because
Tom Cruise believes it?
Tom Cruise believes it. Yeah. I mean,
Tom Cruise came to believe he was a Catholic.
Yeah. So Tom Cruise converted to Scientology. Yay! Let's all become Scientologists. Yeah. See, it's not an argument. It's someone came to believe something. So what? Lots of people believe things that are false all the time. Look at flat earthers.
Don't get D3 started.
Remember, when you're looking at flat earthers, you have to point and giggle.
Hey, I can't see any curvature anywhere. If my shoes are flat, how can the earth be curved?
Okay, actually, D3 has actually brought up a good point here. Matthew actually does say that, James is the brother. So is this not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? And are not his brothers James and Joseph and Simon and Judas?
Yeah, but is it the same James that is later on?
Well,
see, that's the thing. How many people are named James? I mean, in all honesty, how many of these people were actually named James at all? Because these are translations of names. These wouldn't have been the names that they actually had. So how accurate
is Yeshua? Yeah. Oh, so some of the names were, I think probably, it's the European world's probably taken on a lot of the names. But there's some, Joshua or Yeshua, which is actually Jesus. That's certainly David, Paul, names like that. But yeah, that's why I always shake my head whenever people put the in the atheist page of the post up about Jesus went around with a bunch of guys called Paul, Matthew, and Luke. Yeah, right, sure. Thinking, well, that's still
names coming from somewhere.
How we call those names isn't exactly the same way that they did, and there's still elements of translation issues in this.
So, has anyone got? Oh, we've lost Jen. We've lost Jen.
Oh.
Well, there goes the rant. I'm sure that Jen will be back, and we'll definitely add Jen. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going on with the video if everyone's ready, or is there any more points on?
No.
Go on.
Anything there? No, too easy. All right. Let's have some fun. Come on, Dr. Kyle.
Also became a believer after a similar resurrection experience. These 6 facts directly support the claim that Jesus did rise from the dead. But are there any feasible alternatives in
Sorry, and what he says, these facts support that he rose from the dead. Even if those were facts, which they're not, they don't. They absolutely don't prove that he rose from the dead.
At best, they support that somebody called Jesus existed.
They support the claims being made at the time. That's all they do.
Yeah, they support the existence of this Jesus person. They don't support that he rose from the dead. You need a lot of extra effort, evidence to prove that, considering we have no other evidence that suggests that people can be raised from the dead, apart from with modern medical science, where we can revive occasionally people who have died, technically died.
But this is a thing that, and Sam, I'll get you to comment on this as well. This is a thing that that tends to happen a lot with Christian apologetics, where they say, here's a few things, and see, that proves that, so now, therefore, we're going to move on to the next part.
The next part isn't even, like, he's done with resurrection facts. Sorry to spoil the video, but he's done presenting his case for the resurrection. From what I remember, this video is now just disproving alternate hypotheses, which is just... I don't know what it is about, like, going back to apologetics recently, but I don't remember it being like this. It's been 10 years, but, like, apologetics is not for convincing people. This video is not designed to convince people of the resurrection. It's designed to prevent people from questioning it that already believe it. It's...
Yeah, you're not going to convert anybody with this. This is the same thing as a Eric Hovind, where they've gone from trying to convert people to trying to keep people.
Yeah. So just a quick, what does everyone think? And I know you've already seen it, Pastor, but what does everyone think are going to be the main hypotheses that he thinks people present as opposed to the resurrection? Like, what's our excuse for not believing in the resurrection? Because
that we want to sin.
Nice. Yes.
We want to. Satan's blinded us.
Awesome.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I love that one.
Someone said Satan's my daddy recently, so hey.
I mean, there's just so many different ways. I mean, just I don't know. I don't understand the whole narrative here with the resurrection of Jesus. And it's just, I mean, look at this video. We're 1:43 in out of a 7.5 minute video, and he's done talking about the proofs of resurrection.
I might be wrong from what I listened to.
The video then.
It's not even 5 minutes. Look at the title.
But it's not for us. That's the point, Jay. It's not for us. It's for people who already believe, so that they don't listen to people like us and leave the faith.
It's like when you've got, I guess, and I'll put a US slant on it. If you're a Republican in the US and you watch Fox News, all you're going to hear is things that, you know, back up what you believe. And if you're a Democrat and you watch CNN, all you're going to hear is things that you believe. So rather than look at the other side. But this video is absolutely designed for people who are Christians, and it's designed not to help them defend their faith, because it's really bad apologetics. And look, I guess people who don't know or don't care, they might throw those out there and think, haha, see, I got you. But realistically, it's designed to help sort of reinforce them in that bubble that they're in, where they're only listening to people like Kyle and Hovind and all the other
Ray Comfort and Ken Ham. Yeah,
right now
this is their same level of apologetics.
Incidentally, while we will take responsibility for sending Ken Ham, Ray Comfort has nothing to do with us. New Zealand is not a part of Australia, and the only keywords we claim are the successful ones. So what I mean by we only claim successful... We only claim successful ones. What I mean by that is Russell Crowe is a great Australian actor, but he is also a New Zealand singer, a Kiwi singer. So that'll give you an idea on that, on how that one works. So let's get back to...
And you've got to remember that Crowded House is Australian.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with Cripple. We're still going to blame you for comfort.
We will not take him back.
You can have both.
We never had
we
him.
don't want either. We want to
New
give you Israel.
No.
Well,
No, I don't know much about Izzy, but from what I do know, no, we don't want him either.
Yeah, we need
he's got a nice big cash
he-
settlement.
he'd be pretty mellow compared to some of the guys you've got. It's just
he'd
because
fit right
we don't
in,
get
though, at the Creationist Museum and at the Ark Encounter. Israel would, he would make an absolutely brilliant security guard.
Well, he can tackle. We'll give him that.
That's right. You see, he could tackle. He could do that. He could occasionally appear on Answers News. Like I said, he's not going to lower the intelligence of the group. In fact, he might even raise it a little bit. I think he's probably a little bit more intelligent than Ken Ham.
He's not as charismatic as
he managed
Not
to
as charismatic, no.
All right, so let's keep going with the video. Now, I'm going to apologize because there seems to be a lot of buffering. I am actually running through Wi-Fi where I am, so I've got everyone's stream coming through the computer, plus the video, plus we're uploading. It's, a million things happening. So if it seems to keep cutting out, I do apologize, but trust me when I say you're not missing a lot. But let's keep going. Come on, Kyle.
Explain the rise of the world's most influential religion. Unhinged and unrelenting skeptics have proposed.
There it is.
There we go. There we go. Look at those unhinged skeptics. Now, here's my challenge for everyone. I want everyone to do their best angry atheist face. So, Sam, you're the first one there. You are going to be.
I don't know.
Give us your best angry atheist.
You
know you want to.
Get. I can't do angry right now.
Well, I'm even wearing the red shirt, so I'm going to
do this.
Now, if I don't show up in Dr. Kyle's next video, I'm going to be really disappointed. I think one of us should at least. Maybe not ETC. It's you're more the sad atheist, so you truly want to believe in God. But
he's the happy Buddhist. He's not the sad atheist.
Well, he's secular Buddhist, so I don't know. Do you consider yourself as an atheist? Because you don't believe in the supernatural. Is that right?
I don't believe in any supernatural. So in that aspect, I would be atheist, but at the same time, I'm also Buddhist. So
you're more of an agnostic Buddhist, aren't you?
No, I don't believe in there's any sort of a deity at all.
You're definitely atheist then.
Yeah.
So it's more the teaching.
Atheistic, Buddhist, either way works.
See, I in general terms, I consider myself an agnostic because I don't think it's possible to prove that there isn't a deistic God. But if you're going to present to me a God like Yahweh or Allah, I'm definitely atheistic towards them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, incidentally, I'm sort of looking at this, and for those who are wrestling fans, does that look like John Cena?
A little, doesn't it?
It does a bit. And is that Jeremy Corbyn?
Sorry.
That's possibly the next Prime Minister of England. I don't know.
I don't know,
Anyway.
but the white-haired guy looks a little bit like Ken Ham. So are they suggesting that Ken Ham's an atheist?
Just to answer D3 real quick, it's I believe in a combination of Zen Buddhism and Taoism. So
you're very Zen there.
Yeah.
So that's why you couldn't do the angry face, because you're too chill.
I can get angry. Believe me, I can get angry. Right now.
He can get angry.
I can't just drop angry at a hat anymore. I mean, I used to be, but
I will guarantee that we will get Angry Jay next Friday.
Oh, good.
That is almost guaranteed.
You've heard it here.
That's pretty much guaranteed when it comes to.
So next week we're going to get Angry Jay and a Gen Ram.
We'll get angry.
The guy we're doing next Friday, and excuse me, but I hate that fucker.
I've nearly finished. I've nearly finished number 3, and I am. The room is starting to spin, so I shouldn't stand.
It's coming. It's coming on. All right. Well, let's watch a bit more, so you've got some material to go with. So, I love the angry atheists. How can you not love the angry atheists?
Yeah. Raven says he's really good at the angry face.
A variety of alternative and untenable reasons that the early Christians would come to believe in the resurrection. These proposals include the mass hallucination hypothesis, the elaborate conspiracy hypothesis, and what I call the Jesus didn't really die hypothesis, which...
Okay, what about the Jesus never actually existed hypothesis?
The Jesus didn't die hypothesis is called Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So mass hallucination.
How is it a mass hallucination? I mean, there's no atheist says it was a mass hallucination.
Oh, there are people that make that claim.
I've actually heard that.
It's all a fabrication after the event.
There are people that make that claim as a more plausible explanation, and they're generally specifically talking about when Jesus appeared to the group of, was it 500?
500.
Yeah. So
I think
it's not a holistic.
That actually occurred.
500 never happened.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like it's not a explanation for the entirety of Jesus' resurrection and all the garbage that Christians tack onto that with Acts and all the other events that occurred. But when it comes to the specific explanation of how did 500 people see Jesus, yes, you've got there's not sufficient proof for me to accept that claim. And then there are people that do make the step of, well, if I take you at that, and that is what was reported, then it is more likely that there was a mass hallucination because people were expecting to see Jesus than Jesus was actually there.
I'd also like to point out with that whole concept of the mass hallucination, prior to mass printing, so that we could actually get photos of the people we're talking about, most people would not have known what somebody like Jesus would have looked like.
But that doesn't matter because
but they would never have seen him. So if you had a meeting where he's seeing people and people are telling you, oh, that's Jesus, everyone will believe it anyway, even if it was somebody entirely different.
But the point isn't that this is... So the point of the mass hallucination isn't on the balance of evidence, this is what likely happened. It's just that on the balance of probability, this is more likely than what you're trying to tell me is what happened.
Yes,
which is
well, I agree with that
resurrection thing.
So.
Yeah. But and that's the thing, this whole thing is being disingenuously represented as, well, this is what the atheists believe. No, we think this is more plausible. We don't think this happened.
Well, no, what the angry atheists before?
Yeah, the angry atheists.
The angry atheists.
How do you
get I can't be angry.
Elaborate conspiracy hypothesis? There's nothing elaborate about anything I've ever heard of any atheist talking about.
That's hiding. And this is the thing. It's loaded language. The elaborate conspiracy is just that the disciples hid the body and then claimed that he resurrected. That's the elaborate. I'm pretty sure that's what he's referring to.
How is that elaborate? I mean,
because if you don't misrepresent the claim, Jen, you can't disprove it because you're a Christian apologetic. You've got to misrepresent people. That's why he started with the unhinged.
Unhinged, yes. Because, I mean, in all reality, people who were crucified back then were put in mass graves. The bodies were not given over to other people. They were just buried in mass. Jesus figure he would have gone in a mass grave, regardless of whether he was actually dead or not. And buried and would have suffocated. Even if he didn't
and the grave that he was supposed to go into was the grave of Joseph of Arimathea, who, if this person actually existed, would have been one of the people who would have voted for Jesus to be put to death or sent to the Romans to be put to death.
Yeah.
Because it was a unanimous vote amongst the Sanhedrin, wasn't it? Sanhedrin?
Sanhedrin.
Yeah.
So that's
which Joseph of Arimathea was a Sanhedrin.
He would have been mass graved. So there's no conspiracy there. There is just a story that was written 50 to 100 years later that from people who'd only had word of mouth.
So what you're saying, Jen, is it could be bullshit.
Yeah, basically. It's fucking bullshit. These bastards don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's all crap.
Well, since we're talking about conspiracy parts of this, now this is going a little off track here a little bit, but if you do like what I do is I look into conspiracy theories all the time. Almost every single conspiracy will have a link to the Abrahamic religions. Somewhere in there, they will.
Yeah, they do.
There is talk of somewhere about, like with the MK Ultra and the CIA, the big conspiracy there is they're trying to hide God from everybody. Flat Earth, God says the Earth is round. I mean, it's flat. Sitting on the pillars. Almost every single conspiracy theory out there, it deals with this religion, this group of religion, the Abrahamic religions. So, I mean,
because the Abrahamic religion don't allow for any flexibility in thought.
Yeah, but just because he's talking about a conspiracy theory, just because he's talking about the conspiracy theory that it was the conspiracy theory has evolved from this religion. In my opinion, a lot of them have come off of these religions. So, yeah, it quite possibly could have been a conspiracy to start, and it's branched out. I mean, it's all how you want to look at it. It could have started as one big one, and now it's thousands of them.
If anybody's wondering what I'm mixing my scotch with, it's fake Pepsi.
Fake Pepsi.
Fake Pepsi. How can you? No, sorry. How can you do that? That's not on.
What, Maxi Ice? I like Maxi
Ice. No,
Ice.
anything. I mean, that's a nice drop you're drinking there.
I know it is, but I like mixers. I've never been able to drink it straight. I'd much rather have a mixer.
I can't say too much because I'm mixing my Jameson with lemonade at the moment. So
I don't mind lemonade as well, but I prefer not to have all my calories in liquid form. So and Maxi Ice is cheap and it's diet. So I like Maxi Ice because I'm a caffeine addict. So value for money, it's about half the price of an equivalent amount of Pepsi Max. So
yeah,
and it tastes
similar, so. I can't do caffeine, so I got to stick with the non-caffeinated stuff. I drink caffeine, I get migraines.
Look, the amount of caffeine I drink, Jay, it's very likely I'm going to build up an allergy to it.
That's what happened to me. I built up. I start drinking caffeine, I get migraines.
So I get migraines anyway, so I wouldn't notice.
So I'm confused on this swoon hypothesis.
I think he actually goes in and explains a little bit more of that. So
that's we'll keep going with the video.
Now, incidentally, the chat's gone a little bit quiet here. So
are people still there, or are they just waiting for me to say something ridiculous?
Raven prefers Jaeger.
It's I mean, one thing I will put up is Raven has mentioned that you do have a really good angry face, and
Jay does.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, maybe we will get to see it. All right. Well, back to the video, and I guess
we'll see it next week. Don't worry. I'm sure Jay will. Oh God, I can't speak. Sorry.
Oh, it's going to be a good rant tonight.
Jay will dominate the discussion next Friday. I will almost guarantee it.
Oh yeah, he pisses me off.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, you come on, Jay. You didn't send that to me without the desire to do that video with a bunch of Australians. Come on, you meant to do it.
Well, I can tell you, I watched 3 minutes of that 16-minute video and was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then now you got to take about 40 seconds of that is just his intro. So less than 3 minutes. Yeah, less than 3 minutes into that video, I was already going, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I have to figure out a topic to do for a video this weekend, and I have absolutely no idea. And I will. Oh shit! I'm drinking like this. I have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's no. Raven, no.
So I'm going to ask the question, Jaeger. So, do you guys have Jaeger bombs over in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They will mess you up every time. They are just bad.
I can't stand for Jaeger, but and no, you leave my gnomes and my pillow alone.
Oh dear.
It could be related. I have no idea what CC is talking about.
Yeah, got me on that.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. You're going to have to tell us who you mean. Who do I think is related?
Anyway, we'll keep going with the video, and I'm sure we'll get to that.
Tell us, yeah.
Jesus didn't really die hypothesis, which
okay.
even early historians rejected.
Josephus!
But what shall we say to the other proposals regarding?
Did he actually quote Josephus there?
Yeah, Josephus. Josephus.
The majority of historians accept that that's an interpolation and not actually Josephus's own writing. So the only thing you Josephus is that Christians existed.
Yeah, exactly. And the rest is it's a known and acknowledged. And the majority of scholars, both biblical and non-biblical, agree that the majority of what was written was a 5th century forgery.
Yeah. I was going to say,
not so much a forgery.
Added in?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if forgery is the right word. I mean, when you have people...
I know it was a forgery. Absolutely.
When you have people by hand translating things, I don't know if it was I mean, it's a forgery in the strictest sense, but I don't know whether it was... I don't know if you can say outright it was intended to be that way, in that, I mean, it's just as likely there was a monk transcribing this and then going, in the middle of it, saying how they felt.
What was added, I think, was too much to be not described. And the reason, and the reason we know it was a forgery was because you had like Clement, for instance, never actually he wrote on Josephus and he used a lot of that, but he never actually mentioned that line that was in there, which that would be the smoking gun for someone in the 2nd century. Was never quoted. So
didn't they say that section of Josephus wasn't that the word structure and everything was completely wrong compared to the rest of his stuff?
It's irrelevant because no quoters before the 5th century actually quote that statement, so it was obviously added later.
Yeah, and what is quoted prior to that is that they believe, would have
used it.
But even then, that book was written in 94 and 95 AC, or after class, or CE, sorry. I was thinking AD, and then I was thinking CE for some reason. So current, so you know what I mean. See, this is what's happened. As Jen said, you said you'd had your
CE and BCE.
Yeah, before I actually learned this just the other day. Before current events and current events.
Yeah, but that's still 60 years after. So Josephus was born in 34 CE, which would mean he would have been born around the same time that this Jesus character would have died. So realistically, that's like me writing a story on someone who died back in the 80s.
Elvis,
and doing it as an eyewitness.
Elvis would be like Elvis writing a story about Elvis. Exactly.
Elvis didn't die; he just went home.
or alternatively, even more closer to the correct day would be one of us writing a story about Lenin by only talking to people now who'd been there.
Yeah. Actually, Critical Cripple just put up something, and we'll check that out.
Even if you could talk to the other Beatles, you would be hard pushed to get a coherent story about Lennon's life.
Well, there was a lot of LSD involved.
Yeah. So
lots.
And we'd
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
And there's video evidence. For them, it was way harder.
No, definitely.
There were so few books compiled because it was so hard to do it.
So I'll go back and I'll try and let it go a little bit longer this time because it's unfortunately with our good friend Dr. Kyle, it's so easy to pause it every 2 seconds and go bullshit. So we may even do a few live bullshits as we go. Come on, Dr. Kyle.
The mass hallucination hypothesis, there are multiple problems.
One is the
diversity of resurrection appearances. To persuade someone that a mass hallucination occurred, it would be more tenable if the hallucination happened with maybe one group.
Diversity could also mean bullshit. I just wanted to say that. It could mean that it was made up and there was multiple accounts that don't match up. Anyway.
In one location at one time. But Jesus is not only recorded as having appeared to different individuals, but also different groups in different geographical locations under different circumstances.
It's because they don't line up.
There's also a familial element to this matter. It's well known that the brothers of Jesus, two of which wrote letters in the New Testament, did not think.
How white are they? Seriously, how white are they all?
Yeah.
Like, that is a lot of white people.
That's the European
he's
influence.
talking back to this brothers thing, and we don't actually know if they're talking brother, as in somebody who is a spiritual cohort, or brother as in somebody who's genetically related.
I've seen good evidence that version of Jesus is based off a bust of Zeus.
I said that's
the jawline, the beard, the hair, everything. It's crazy.
Actually, it does.
The European influence.
He's got a little soul patch. Yeah, you check out the little soul patch there too. That's very Shannon Knoll.
What about me though, man? It's not fair.
When you started saying Shannon, I thought you were going to say
enough,
Shannon.
and I want my share.
And I was going to say she doesn't have a soul patch. No.
Shannon Q's the second most famous Shannon in the world. For those who are not in Australia, Shannon Knoll is a national treasure, an icon, and a living legend.
Second only to Guy Sebastian.
No, he was robbed. We won't go there. And for anyone who loves Eurovision, there's a big push.
I find Shannon Q to be absolutely lovely and adorable.
But she's not nosy.
And I think we should have her on a show just so I can get drunk with her.
We have to make that happen. Once again, the time difference is going to make it interesting. But
where
there's a will, there's a way.
Saturday night to do it, but I'm pretty sure we could have her on.
All right, well, let's
make
it happen.
One of our public holidays in Australia.
Yeah, I think we
screw that. We're Aussies. We'll drink whenever.
On a Saturday night, although she probably won't drink because it'll be Saturday morning for her.
Well, I'm going to assume that Shannon's probably not watching, but if you're watching in the future, Shannon, after you've been on one of our shows and you're sort of looking back at this was the moment that it all went downhill, look forward to meeting you.
This is the moment it all went to shit.
Downhill, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get blamed.
Jen's fault.
It's always my fault.
Yeah.
It's always my fucking fault.
She's the reason all my streams are not safe for work.
Okay. All right. I can. No, that's not true because I haven't been in all of them. and I've seen the last one I wasn't in, and you guys achieved it all on your own. So you can fuck off with that idea, James.
Possibly channel their inner Jen. So, all right, we'll get back to the video. So let's keep going with it. Oh, dear.
That Jesus was anything special prior to his resurrection. However, after the resurrection, they became highly involved leaders in the Christian movement, facing great persecution, ending with James, the brother of Jesus, being killed in Jerusalem. It's one thing to propose that
Again, how do you know that
already believed in Jesus hallucinated? However strange
this NBN's killing
that
me.
May be,
but
it's an entirely different thing to propose that unbelievers such as the brothers of Jesus would come to a sudden and sincere belief in the resurrection of Christ through hallucinatory means.
All right, two things.
Pertains to the elaborate
prove that brothers, and secondly, prove this actually happened. You've got two things to prove there, and you're not proving anything. You're just stating things as fact without any evidence. Sorry, this shits me off.
Yep. I look forward to the
asserting things of evidence that are not evidence pisses me off about Christian apologists.
Welcome to theology.
Oh God. Tell me about it. It just so shits me. It's probably one of the main reasons why I don't debunk a lot of Christian videos, because I get partway through and I get so pissed off with it, because even flat earthers, when their assertions of their bullshit, do not make anywhere near the number of assertions that Christian apologists will.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think D3 would agree with that either.
No, but I mean, look at how many assertions he has made in what 3 minutes.
Have you
watched? You get outliers in the Flat Earth Society like Liley, who fucking
have you not watched the Anthony Riley video? Come on, he does that.
Yeah, he asserts something every 5 seconds. So yeah, he's fucked in the head. But he's also a Christian.
Who's got the mute button?
So it's the same shit.
Oh no, I'm letting this go. Great.
See, not a flat earther.
Yeah, sorry, I went to flat earthers again. I'm sorry. There's just so many flat earthers are devout Christians. I mean, yeah, I can see the correlation there. I'm pretty sure everybody else can.
Well, if you don't believe in bullshit, you may as well go all in.
That's right.
That's what I said earlier. You know, all your conspiracy theories usually have a tie back to the Abrahamic religions.
Well, that's like you go back particularly to the Old Testament and the way that they teach like cosmology and stuff. Like it's a gateway into rejecting science. The more science has reduced the gap between our knowledge and understanding in the natural world, the more you have to deviate from rationality to accept what's written in these bloody books. That's why flat earthers are mostly religious, because if you read the Old Testament, it's rational. If you think the book is real, to go, well, the Earth's flat because it's got 4 corners, because it's,
it boggles my mind. And I mean, it's like you listen to somebody like Ray Comfort when you see his video trying to tell flat Earth Christians not to advertise the fact that they're flat earthers because it's irrational, and because those passages in the Bible are I've had too much to drink and now my brain won't work. Metaphorical, thank you so much. and because he goes on that it's metaphorical, but so that part can be metaphorical, but Genesis isn't metaphorical. I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways. It's either a lot of it's fucking metaphorical or none of it's metaphorical, and you're gonna have to fucking accept that. But no,
I can see why you're not a fan of theological videos, Jen.
Sorry?
I can see why theological videos aren't your favorite thing.
Oh, it just shits me. It's like, and I mean, yeah, I'm happy to do a debunk of theology, but yeah, and not when I'm drunk, because obviously I'm struggling to make coherent thought here. But
well, if it helps, Jen, you're drunk and you're making more sense than Dr. Kyle.
I would like to point out that regardless of how drunk I am, I think I'm still more coherent than a Christian apologist.
Absolutely. Or as Critical Cripple said, or it's all bullshit. Surely not. No. It's all true. I'm sure it is. All right, back to it. 2 minutes to go to convince us. Come on, Dr. Kyle.
We also find many irreconcilable problems. In addition to the fact that there was no material benefit to being an early Christian because you would be persecuted violently and in many instances have your property seized, forensic experts such as Warner Wallace
okay, citation needed on that because the Romans didn't persecute other religions. And ultimately, Christianity became the default religion of Rome, and that's when they started to persecute other religions.
He
does cover this shortly.
Yeah, Nero was he kind of made the Christians scapegoats for a few things. So
he did, but I mean that was only for a short period of time, and overall, the very early Christian church wasn't persecuted as much as this dickwad is making out.
And I think you'll find, so Constantine, I'll just get the exact date for Constantine.
All right. I would be happy to hear the exact date.
So, or thereabouts. So Constantine, why is it giving me the film? Constantine the Great. So he was in the 4th century. So we're sort of 300 years down the track.
So is he saying the early church didn't evolve until the 4th century, is he? At which point, at 4 centuries, nobody has any fucking clue what happened 400 years previously.
Well, it was a very different church back then. So the Council of Nicaea is probably when Christianity was, I guess, ingrained, and that was in 325 AD. So that's 4th century as well.
But before that, I mean, aside from Nero, most of the Roman emperors were tolerant of other religions. That was part of the beauty of Rome. They were very accepting.
But before that, particularly before the Council of Nicaea, Christianity was a big mishmash of many different religions, basically.
It was. And they persecuted each other more than they were persecuted by other people.
So, yeah. So there was no single, so they like to present, from Peter the Rock, the church was built and it has been consistent ever since. And forget about the Catholics and the Orthodox.
Absolute bullshit.
Yeah. But that's the tradition, and it completely undermines the fact that there were lots of competing versions of Christianity until the Council of Nicaea, and it just happens that this flavor was the one the council decided on.
And the Council of Nicaea wasn't even unanimous. They sat there and argued about Christian doctrine, and Christian doctrine was decided on by popular vote. Democracy. So Christianity is popular consensus. It is not a historical fact.
And the fact that it was voted on, that just shows how wonderful democracy is, and why if you're in America, you should be a Republican. You should be a Republican, and you should love your guns. Sorry, couldn't help myself. No more politics. No more politics, I promise. No more politics. Oh, dear.
All right, don't get me going. I might pay myself. Oh no! I shouldn't have said that. That will become the aim for the stream, won't it? Let's get Jen to pee herself. No,
that is at 1 hour 46 minutes.
This means preferably no more than 2. In the case of the New Testament, we have a reported 513 witnesses.
Reported.
A short conspiracy time span. Keep in mind the apostles preached the resurrection without defecting for upwards of 40 years.
Bullshit, they did. Bullshit.
Communication.
Now, that's because it was written 40 years after. So what he said about the, it was accepted straight away, and then he's gone, there was no variation for 40 years. That's because there was nothing for 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was nothing for 40 years.
But even then,
excellent communication.
Okay, if there was no variation, shouldn't all the Gospels be identical?
Apocalypse of Peter, the Gospel according to Mary, they're all variations that occurred.
Yeah, and the Council of Nicaea threw them out because of their difference. So the only reason why there's anything
just quickly jump
close to them being similar...
Jen, shush.
So, ETC, sorry, you were trying to say something in there.
Oh, I just happened to look up and seen the excellent communication. Not back then. It's word of mouth. So shit was all kinds of screwed up.
Paul had the biggest YouTube channel in all of the Roman Empire. It was huge. He was massive.
He had more followers than PewDiePie.
Yeah.
He didn't have more followers than Navadia, because no one has more followers than Navadia.
If he'd had a chance, he would have persecuted the Jews.
Oh, God.
Oh,
there's something in there about Muslims being decent.
Okay, I have had too much truth, but I'm not stopping.
But I know you haven't. You're still awake.
You know what? I'm going to get that I've had too much to drink, but I'm not stopping, and we're just going to have that on loop. I might do that
at the 1 hour 48 minute mark.
Oh dear. We'll timestamp it in later. So let's get back to this. This
you know what the sad part about this is? This is only my God. I've lost count. Third or fourth drink. Fourth. It's my fourth. Is it okay? This is. See, I told you guys I'm a lightweight.
Yeah, but how heavy are you pouring them? Next time you pour one, we want to see the whiskey to cola ratio.
Get
you want me to drink another one? I'm not going to be able to make it to the bed, and it's only behind me.
We'll just push you. Oh dear.
I am going to sidetrack a little bit again. Oh, shut up, Jay. I with my ex-husband, him. Last time I visited the US, which because my ex-husband was an American citizen, so I went over there to meet his mum and his family and everything like that. And I was drinking with his mum, and the thing that Mike failed to tell me was that his mum was an recovering alcoholic. She was still drinking. I kept up with her for a night. I do not remember the night ending. I do not remember getting to bed, but I do remember waking up in the morning in my own pee.
Okay.
So that is probably the most drunk I've ever been in my entire life, and I don't remember any of it. I am totally without memory of the evening.
At the threat of derailing the stream, the drunkest I've ever been, I was drinking Woodstock Blues. I was still at Bible college. Good Christian there. And apparently I had a dream that because I was working as a cleaner at the church at the time as well. And apparently I had a dream that I went to work or something, and I woke up at home and I was like, oh shit, I'm still in my shirt. Where the fuck are my glasses? It turns out I had actually, on the way home from my friend's place, the church was on the way. It wasn't on the way. It was like there's a straight line to my place and home from where I was drinking. And I took a right angle up, went past the church, passed out in front of the church door, and must have had my glasses fall off because this was on Friday night. Saturday morning, couldn't find my glasses. Sunday went to church. They were in the creche. So they must have been sitting at the front door. Someone's picked them up, put them in the creche, and I found them again. Good Christian boy.
You want to know how much I've drunk?
That would have been youth night.
This
Woodstock
was a brand
Blues,
new bottle.
2.5 standard drinks each.
This was a brand new bottle. That is how much I've drunk.
Okay.
So, not a lot. I am a lightweight.
At the threat of derailing, the most drunk I've ever been, did anyone ever have Midori illusions?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Midori.
They're only one standard drink each, mate. Woody Blues, 2.5 each.
Not when you were having the whole thing, and it was, and I was 17 at the time. I remember my best friend calling my father to come and pick me up because I was passed out on a park bench. So that was not my finest moment.
If we all make it to Skepticon next year, we are all getting drunk together.
No.
Has to
getting old for that game.
Yeah, I'm all for that game.
Right
There's
there.
a competition here.
That right there
actually,
tell you how drunk I got.
Oh yeah, I've been in Sydney a few times.
When you're getting drunk, I will get there first. I don't think there is anyone amongst us all in Aussie that's a lighter weight of the alcohol than me.
All right, so Sam,
is a Cadbury.
We'll carry Jen back to her room.
Yeah,
we'll sort it out. When she passes out, we'll carry her back. There you go, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, I was in the Navy for 4 years, so yeah, I'm not talking about my drinking.
Oh yeah, well yours is. Come on, Jay, you've got huge tolerance being in the Navy.
Not anymore.
No, but you would have when you were.
Oh yeah, my best night was a bottle of Jack, a bottle of Bailey's, a 24-pack of Coors, and I think a half a bottle of Bacardi.
How do you have the fucking time to do that?
That's what I did.
My 18th birthday. I mean, I'd already been drinking before my
impressive.
18th birthday, but on my, I used alcohol throughout my entire teen years to cope with all the shit, all the stuff I'm not going to talk about because it's not relevant to this thing. But on my 18th birthday, I went out on my 18th birthday with my brother and a few friends and everything, and everyone bought me drinks for my 18th birthday. I do not remember the end of the night. I know at some point we left the pub and went to the nightclub. I don't remember that. I don't remember getting home. I don't remember getting into bed. All I can say is I'm bloody glad I went out with my brother because I know that he made sure I got home safe because I could have ended up anywhere that night.
Yeah, I worked from 7 to 4 and then was at the bar by 6 and was there till about 3 a.m. Every night.
I used to
every night.
5 a.m. Oh, it was great. Retail days.
Yeah, I could do that. Even when I was a teenager, I was a lightweight, so I've never handled large amounts of alcohol very well. So I love it. But hey, do you want to know how much I have had enough to drink now that as I move my head, the world is sort of in individual frames.
Yeah, Raven should.
It's all fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the video.
Get back. I can't remember where we were at. So
point 3, excellent communication.
Excellent communication.
Well, I fail on that.
We're all going to be Christians in a minute, so it's all good. We'll all repent in a
I'm
second.
too drunk to be a Christian. I've already failed.
Just pretend it's the Spirit, not alcohol.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
You've allowed the Holy Spirit into you.
I've got the Holy Spirit.
Actually, I'll have to get
all the hell, Shivers Regal.
For one of the future streams, I'll have to get Matt Stephen on, who he was one of. I actually interviewed him, former Catholic priest, and he was telling me that they used to like a drink back in the day, and I reckon he'd be
a good drunk.
Actually, I've
Because
never been drunk with him.
This is not fair that I'm the only one who's drunk and you guys are all sober.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to regret something I've said tonight, but at the moment I can't remember everything I've said.
That's all right. Not Jar isn't here to convert it into something else.
Oh bullshit! He'll watch it later and grab it.
I hope so. Hi, not Jar from the future.
Oh, fuck off.
About 1 minute 40, not Jar.
Yeah,
somewhere around
146. 148.
Yeah, 148 was a good one. Yeah. In fact, we'll just message it all to you, so just to save you time.
Just watch the whole video and watch me make a complete fucking fool of myself.
Get those watch
I
minutes
still maintain that even in my drunk state, I'm still more coherent than Ken Hovind. Only just.
Oh, that's hard. Now, I'm actually just going to quickly detour here. I've just had a quick look, and I've just got the notifications. I'm up to 92 subscribers.
Woohoo!
I've got 8 to go. So I'm just going to put this out there. If I get 100 by the end of this stream, which who knows how long that could be, it could be not too long. Right. Without doxing myself, I'm going to reveal something about me that's fairly interesting.
From Australia.
We'll certainly get a lot of people.
He's not actually from Australia. He's from Ireland.
Australia doesn't exist. Australia doesn't.
It's from New Zealand.
Yeah, there you go. He's free.
Yes. Come on, bro. Hey, that's choice. Hey.
Take it easy, eh? We're all friends, eh?
There you go.
All right, hey.
If you want to know how strong my mixes are, there you go.
Did you get that out of the chili bun?
I'm running out of mixer, by the way. So, and I won't drink straight, even when I'm drunk. So,
you need some preemies, Jen. So you've got something that
when we go to Skepticon next year.
No. I'm getting you on
the good stuff.
No, that's not going to happen. I won't drink beer. I hate beer. Beer is fucking
premixes, not beer.
I don't know how any. I know premix isn't, but I don't. I like to choose what I mix with. If I'm going to mix with anything, it'll be a Diet Cola of some description, either Coke Zero, cheapy like Maxi Ice or Pepsi Max.
Actually, I tell you what, the Canadian Club and Dry is good.
I don't mind a mixing with dry. Dry is nice as well. So dry ginger ale. So yeah, I agree.
Critical
beer is fucking revolting. Anyone who drinks beer,
take it back. Take it back now, please.
Mods ban him.
My exception is what Sam drinks. I love a cider, but I generally don't drink it because I have in the past been violently ill from drinking ciders, but I love ciders.
I love ciders when it's hot, so.
Oh dear. All right, let's get back to the video because we're halfway through and we're 2 hours in, so I don't want to go.
We're never going to get all the way through. You know I'm going to interrupt.
I know, but it's called wishful thinking.
Yeah, go for it.
Quick, while she's drinking.
New glass, number 5.
In the New Testament, the apostles spread to many different locations with only
I don't give a shit about the New Testament.
Communication methods such as sending letter via horseback. 4, you need strong familiar.
Famously reliable.
550 New Testament resurrection witnesses included the apostles, which were from a variety of familial backgrounds. And 5, you need little to no pressure to confess. The early Christians were severely persecuted until 312 AD when Emperor Constantine converted to the Christian faith.
Okay, I have a question. Can we pause it for a second? I know I'm pretty drunk now, But
No,
what he's talking
Surely
about
not.
doesn't make any sense. And is it because I'm drunk, or is
No, it makes no sense.
I'm sober, and I'm not sure what the point was about familial relationships being relevant.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
thank you. It's not how drunk I am.
The sad thing is, you probably spent a year studying it at Bible college.
I never came across familiar relationships. I came across the Masonic secret. I came across ancient Greek. I came across early church, but not familial relationships of apostles.
Isn't familial relationship something to do with magic? Because you've got a wizard and they've got a familiar, and then you've got a relationship with the wizard.
No, you're just thinking of
I'm thinking of Dungeons and Dragons, aren't I?
Yeah, you're thinking of Dungeons and Dragons.
You're thinking of a ranger.
What the hell?
I don't know.
What, Dave? What is Dave talking about? Oh,
Coke.
It's cock and coke.
Sorry, I couldn't. So I wouldn't have put if he hadn't have dissed beer before. Then,
yeah. Okay, you just put a cock in the middle of the screen, and
Coke, you drunk ass.
It actually legitimately said cock.
Them's got to be fighting words for you there, Sam.
As in the male appendage, as in something that likes to go in the vagina or be sucked.
Well,
sorry, I was not paying attention
with
because of a comment that was up outside of it.
You
I've just put that up.
Ever having this stream monetized now, are you, Chris?
Look, I'm pushing for 100 people, so I mean, I'm not even close to thinking about monetize. So we're all good. We're all good.
I'm sorry. I destroy streams, and it's worse than I'm drunk.
I'd rather have fun than worry about
me too.
For 1,000 views or something. So
this is why I call people assholes when they deserve it, or cunts if they deserve it, because I'd rather let people know exactly what I think about something than censor myself because YouTube is a bitch. I
think watch time's more important than views as well.
There you go.
All right, well, let's keep going.
Hey, at least you'll never be accused of being for children.
No, I'm going to tick
none
that.
of these minimum requirements in terms of being able to make the elaborate conspiracy hypothesis tenable. Being that the main proposals from skeptics are found to be left wanting in every way, we can arrive at the realization that even though these alternative explanations could be
unreasonable,
there's a pot calling the kettle fucking black, isn't it?
That does look like Ken Ham, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to know where he got all these pictures from, because I do not know any of those atheists.
Oh, really? Oh, they're all at Skepticon, that's why.
Oh, is that what it was? I
don't see Adam Savage.
They're all smooching up to Mero and Sarah.
Don't you love it how there's the big cross there, and then the big tick for Jesus, white Jesus. Big tick for white Jesus.
Yeah, white Jesus.
Why is it a green tick?
Right.
He's not stacked there. Usually he's a lot more stacked. A bit more swole.
Do you even live, bro?
I know, right?
I love...
How's he going to lift himself off that cross, am I right?
Who's the Australian
well, that's why he's dead.
Who did the skit about gun control in the US?
Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries.
I love his thing about I'm better than Jesus, because if it had been me on that cross, I would have just pulled my arms out and walked off because I'm taller than Jesus.
Oh dear. All right, back to
Jim Jeffries is kind of
the alternative explanations to the resurrection count as an additional proof to the credibility of the resurrection.
No, it doesn't.
Combine this.
No, Sam, go for it. Sam.
No. I'm just physically just saying no. The fact that maybe those other options are not reasonable, that doesn't add evidence to your unreasonable assertion. They are unrelated. It's that fucking. I try not to swear because I don't want to be, but it is that whole idea that if you disprove evolution, suddenly God. That's evidence for God. If you disprove the swoon theory or the mass hallucination, if you disprove that doesn't prove that the resurrection happened. Like that. He's so bald-faced about this. This is just apologetics 101.
Is it just me, or does he come across as a bit like a smug douchebag as well?
Christian, yeah. He's Christian.
I'd just like to point out to the chat that I've had enough to drink that I just moved my mouse in the wrong direction.
Moved what in the wrong direction?
I moved the mouse in the wrong direction to click on something.
Oh, dear.
This is not going to end well.
So I've just got the notification. We're up to 93 subscribers, 7, and we get the big reveal. 7 for...
Come on, 7.
And it's
face reveal at 100 subsubscribers.
It's not a clickbait reveal.
Face
It's not a
reveal.
clickbait. It'll be it is something that I will reveal about. I guess myself. That,
About Jen.
Maybe.
That was a joke, don't worry.
Yeah. It will be something I'll reveal about myself that will surprise people. Did you just freeze there, Jen, or was that just me?
I don't know. Did I? Am I still there?
No, I can see it.
You're here. Yeah, we got Jen. Yeah.
I'm still here,
All right, so
am I?
We've got 11 seconds to get converted. You ready?
No.
Don't forget the bonus.
I don't
Right,
think
I
we'll
can't
get the
control
bonus,
Twitter
but,
at the moment. I apologize.
With the 6 established facts that even skeptical
established.
scholars agree with, and you have proof
No, we
beyond
don't.
reasonable doubt that
Nope.
Jesus did in fact rise from
Don't.
the dead.
No.
I'd like to thank you for watching 5-Minute Theologian. What did you think about this episode?
It was bullshit.
Jesus.
I think it was sponsored by
Hello.
Charlie
Thoughts
Sheen
in the
Apparel,
comments.
judging by his
Keep
shirt.
it civil. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and share it with others.
Oh, dear. So one thing I'm going to agree with him here is don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, but to hear. It's... All right, so I think we've all had
Crafty.
enough of... Yep, so there we go. Gone. All right, so thoughts? Has anyone suddenly become a Christian?
No.
No?
If I was a Christian, I would be super disappointed with that. And I'm trying to approach that honestly. Like it just lacked any substance or any insight.
It was not a very good. Even if you're looking at it from a Christian point of view, it wasn't a good video. I mean, trying to put that much information in 5 minutes, you just, for what he claimed, he didn't have enough time for it. So I mean, he leaves you wanting and asking more questions.
Like he spent a minute and 20 seconds on proof for the resurrection, and the rest of the video was this is why these 3 random hypotheses aren't tenable. Like you got 5 minutes. Focus on one thing. Do that well, and then maybe do another video on why X theory doesn't convince him.
Oh, wow. If anybody looks at Twitter now, the little tiny tweet I just put out took me all that time to type. That's fucking embarrassing.
Now, what I'm going to do, guys, because
And I
we're
bet you
2 hours
this
into a drinking session, I'm going to very, very discreetly and very quickly just kind of wander to my left, which will be the right, for about a minute or so. So you guys keep talking, and I guess any thoughts on the video? Or I mean, I would have thought it was bubblegum apologetics myself. I think it's just kind of like
okay. What do you mean by bubblegum apologetics?
Okay, so
wow,
like
I can't even say the word apologetics. Shit.
Oh, came across it. So it's like a pop video. So it's like they're just bringing out something that they know people are going to buy, they're going to listen to, they're going to play it a few times, and then they're going to forget.
So apologetics
someone else will bring out something else.
For Christians who want to affirm their faith.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. I get it.
So, good point. What about the evidence? Yeah, got us.
Well, there isn't any. I mean, he totally failed to present any evidence.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
he never tweeted anything.
No. Now, I'll be back. You guys
I
keep
did
talking amongst
tweet
yourself for the next
something.
minute.
What?
No,
Yeah.
no, you didn't.
Oh, what the fuck did I do?
I went to look to see what you, and there's nothing there.
No,
There's
I've got it.
nothing
47 seconds ago.
Hang on. I did tweet. I clicked tweet.
So I'm on her
Yeah,
thing,
no, I did. Join us, 7 more subs needed for atheist pastor. I did. It shows up in my list. tweet.
I've got it too.
It's not showing on mine.
Well, I definitely
have you got Jen muted?
No.
I've got it. So
yeah, no, I definitely tweeted it. No, I'm drunk, but I'm not that drunk.
To revile
okay,
a
Sam,
secret.
Is there an error in what I tweeted? Because
there's a spelling mistake.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Revile instead of reveal.
Hang on, did I? I thought I corrected that. Oh, for fuck's sake! How did I?
Twitter doesn't have edits, so that's there forever.
No. But you won't believe how I originally typed reveal. I am not telling anybody how I originally typed reveal, but there is no way it's spelled reveal. And I still managed to spell it wrong even though I tried to correct it. Oh wow, that's dreadful. How should I have spelt it? Because I am too drunk to know. In case anybody's wondering in the thing, I actually suffer from dyslexia, and spelling is the worst thing for me because of my dyslexia. And I rely an awful lot on spelling correction in Twitter and shit like that because my learning of spelling is dreadful because of my dyslexia.
It must be the Australia to United States differences because I'm still not seeing it.
Okay. But okay, so how was I supposed
going
to
through
spell
the Pacific.
reveal, Sam?
Reveal? No, AEL. Reveal.
AEL.
No,
I did EAL, did I?
No, you did EIL.
Well,
How the fuck did I manage to?
It's obviously
some people may actually
you mean
revile
I
what
deleted
I've got to say.
the error that I saw and retyped the same error?
Maybe.
God damn it.
He probably doesn't care.
I don't believe in God, but God damn it anyway.
Well, I've got it and I've retweeted it. So
I guess fuck off! Don't show that I'm.
Once
delete
it's on
delete
the internet, it's there. It's there.
I won't
forever.
delete it. I don't care. People
it's
know
not a big
it.
deal.
I mean, I've spoken that I'm dyslexic previously.
I make mistakes all the time.
It's a thing I struggled with in high school. The fact it is actually one of the problems that I had when I was trying to get into university. In that, I did English literature instead of normal TAE English when I was in high school, and I struggled to pass English lit mostly because of my dyslexia, and so that's the thing that I have had to cope with all my life, the fact that I'm dyslexic. So
yeah, but
if anyone sees me making spelling mistakes, I actually don't see them normally because it's part of my dyslexia. So
and look who's shown
Why
up.
aren't you in here, Notcher?
So Notcher, we were just saying before 1 hour 46, 1 hour 48, and 1 hour 53.
I think so.
No, fuck off. No, no. You are
146, 148.
You are not allowed to cut me out of this video and make me look stupid.
Feel free to mirror.
I'm very capable of doing that all on my own.
Sorry.
And
I'm not the only one that doesn't see Jen's tweet. Cripple doesn't see it either.
What? How can you guys not see my tweet?
I don't know.
Well,
I
just retweeted it then, so maybe have a look on mine and see if it's there. I've just checked. We're still at 193. So
because come on, Pasta needs to have these subs and Notcher. Do you see my tweet about this stream?
I don't even see it on yours, Pastor.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Did I actually paste the link of the stream into my tweet?
Yeah. I'll make sure it's the right one.
Yeah, how did I manage that? I actually don't remember doing that.
All right. Well, not Jar just liked the tweet, so it is there, I guess. It's weird though. Maybe it's a I don't know. Maybe you're banned worldwide apart from Australia.
Yeah.
Quarantined to Aussies.
Honestly, Notcher. In all honesty, I don't think anyone would care if you joined the stream naked.
It would be the least controversial thing that's happened tonight.
Yeah, I honestly think with the amount that I've had to drink tonight, I am probably the most controversial thing in the stream.
When aren't you?
We still haven't had a proper rant, though.
God damn it. What's wrong with me?
So Jen, I'm going to put this to you, Jen, because you're famous for your rants. So I just want to give you the floor for 30 seconds.
Wait a second. You're going to have to start again because I missed the start of that.
Whoa. What did you say? Here,
okay, so
let me
Jen,
interrupt you talking so you can tell me what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm interrupting you talking so I can know what you actually said.
So I was saying you're famous for your rants. So what I want to do is give you the floor for somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds.
I don't
take her that long to get started.
Just give us your thoughts on Dr. Kyle Bailey.
I can't remember his fucking name.
Dr. Kyle Bailey. So I'm going to let my dog in very quickly.
Okay, Mr. Kyle Bailey. All he did was assert shit. He never provided any evidence for anything he was talking about, and he dribbled on for at least we watched about 5 minutes of his video. We didn't even watch the whole thing, and he just continued to assert things that he had no evidence for. I mean, in actual fact, he is a lying son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was not 5 minutes; it was 7.
Did we actually watch the whole thing? Did we?
No, it was bonus content, so he could get away with his miscommunication.
I mean,
no, that's what he called it.
There's
in the video.
Nothing honest in anything he said. He asserted things. He misrepresented the atheist position on numerous occasions. He is a lying sack of shit. Are you happy with that?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jen.
And that's Jen drunk. So I am. Oh God, I can't even speak. I'm definitely drunk. I am more drunk than I have been since Mero stream.
Last Friday.
Yeah, I think we have to go back to Mero stream that Notch was part of, where I was drinking with friends and I was pretty drunk that night. Since I was last this drunk, so I blame you, Chris. This is entirely your fault. This concept of drinking on a Friday night absolutely ruins me. It doesn't help that I'm a lightweight when it comes to drinking. I mean, this is only 5 drinks in, and I showed how much.
Just to clarify, you will be back next week, yes?
Well, provided I don't die from alcoholic poisoning tonight, yeah.
Oh, you ain't drinking enough for that.
I mean, in all honesty, after I've had a few drinks, I won't give a shit about the person that we're talking about next Friday, despite the fact that he was an absolute cunt towards me on Jay's stream.
Well, make sure you send me the link. So who is this? Who is this person? What's their name?
Oh, are we actually going to announce who it is this week? Okay,
we may as well. Who are we talking about?
Next week is a call for an uprising.
Next time on Six Pack.
He is an absolute asshole who, when we debunk a very, very short video of his,
all right, drunk. All right, drunk. Stop. Let me explain it to you.
Bloody Americans taking over.
I will mute myself so I don't interrupt.
Okay, one of my earliest streams back when I had like 200 subs, we did it was a little over 2 hour long live stream, and about 15 minutes of that we were talking about Call for an Uprising's video on the Denver airport with the new gargoyle, the talking gargoyle. I don't know if you guys seen that.
No.
That thing is so cool. Anyways, he's seen it, posted a 3-minute video on his channel saying if there was ever a channel to troll, this would be the one, saying mine. Last I looked, it's got over 7,600 views and over 1,200 comments, and those comments have nothing to do with the video. It's all personal attacks on all of us that was on the stream.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he's got, at the last I looked, he's got 487,000 subs on one channel. On his second channel, he's got just under 400,000. And he's got a website. If Ozman was here, he could tell you more about the website because he's actually looked into it, for $2.99 a month, where he puts his edited videos because he's been really close. He's already lost one channel and has almost lost his other two.
What's his content that he's got on YouTube?
Oh, everything is indoctrination. It's all about repetition because that's what the Illuminati and the Freemasons.
And I was going to mute myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all about Illuminati and Freemasons and how they're anti-Christians, the war against Christianity, and right now he's been on this big kick about eating babies and human sacrificing children to Satan, and yeah.
So we're talking full blown nut job.
Well, batshit crazy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
full blown batshit
crazy.
Crazy.
Probably an understatement.
The Geek Room had him on, and in the first 5 minutes, he managed to insult everybody on the panel.
Yeah.
In less than 5 minutes, he insulted every single one of them.
The particular video that Jay's talking about on his channel was back when May was still part of the regular crew, and 90% of the negative comments in the video were personally directed at either me or May.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And they were basically the most transphobic thing you could ever see in your life.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was legitimately disgusting.
I actually had to delete his comment off the comment thread, or it would be up over 1,700 comments because it was, at last I had looked before I got it. Last that I when I looked at it, it was just over 300 comments on his comment alone, and it was all the same thing. Inbred hillbillies, look, the hills have eyes. I had one guy said, the panel should just stick a shotgun in their mouth and pull the trigger.
Wow.
It was
They
horrible.
were calling for suicide.
How very Christian of them.
They were transphobic. They were everything. All the most disgusting things of fundy Christians you could think of, they were in Jay's comment section. And a lot of them were personally directed at either Jay, myself, May, or Ozzy, because Ozzy was part of that debunked video. It was only us four, wasn't it, Jay?
Me, you... Yeah, well, Deconverted Man was in for a minute, but then he left.
Yeah, so us four mostly copped it. I think the larger majority of the cop was between me and May, and I in all honesty, I think May copped the larger majority of it.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah, May copped the most of it.
Okay.
And, I mean, I'm not friends with May anymore because of her attack on my niece, but in all honesty, May didn't deserve what happened to her. That was fucking disgusting. The whole thread was disgusting. I personally didn't interact with anyone in the thread. I didn't see the point. But at the time, Lizzie, who is another trans person in Australia, she actually took on people in the thread. And kudos to her. She was absolutely fucking amazing. If you can ever get Lizzie in one of these streams, she is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, Lizzie went nuts on them guys.
In fact, I would almost say let's ask Lizzie if she's prepared to be on the stream next week, because she is fucking brilliant.
Okay.
I
don't know Lizzie, but I'll leave that one with you guys.
I'll see if she's prepared, because she sort of stepped back from doing any streams and stuff like that. But Lizzie is awesome. The other Australian who you haven't had on here is Sarah. And honesty,
I've been wanting to get Sarah on because I've seen a bit of Sarah's stuff, and
Sarah would have been brilliant tonight. Sarah's knowledge on stuff like this is outstanding, and she'd be great.
There is a stream I've got planned.
Sarah on, and Sarah is amazing. We should really get Sarah on.
Yeah, because there's one thing I actually do want to do a video on, and I was actually going to have a chat to you about this, Jen, and get some suggestions, because one thing that I guess when you've been in that Christian bubble, understanding trans people and trans issues isn't something that a lot of people coming out of Christianity have a good concept or understanding of. And I thought that, to put it my,
do you know how much I have tried to not talk about trans issues? Jay dragged me back into it. Diana dragged me back into it. Everybody drags me back into it. I transitioned over 20 years, well, about 20 years ago, actually. I came out as trans when I was 10, between 10 and 12. I actually can't remember exactly when. Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest, I'm not the best person to talk about modern trans issues because I transitioned so long ago. My perspective on things is more cis than trans because I have legitimately almost at the point, as far as cognitive remembering things about my past, because as you get older, of course, you remember less things from when you were younger. I remember more about me post-transition than I do pre-transition. So from my perspective, I often see myself just as being cis, which is, I know, contra to how most other people would look at this sort of thing. So my voice as a trans person is kind of skewed in that I have.
Well, I actually, and I've said this to you before. I didn't realize you were trans until I think it got brought up. It just didn't occur to me. But I remember, and look, I was always fairly progressive, even within my Christian life. So it wasn't something that was an issue for me, but it wasn't something I understood.
Either because I'm also intersexed, so. And I'm also a DES exposed baby. So my mum took high dosages of estrogen while she was pregnant with me. And the percentage of DES exposed children who turned out to be trans is about 60%. So you add that to the fact that I'm also intersex, my chances of being intersex go through the fucking roof. My chances of being trans go through the roof. I can't even fucking make it. Say fuck you lot.
That's definitely a video for another time. Actually, I've just got someone who wants to say hello here.
But in all honesty, I don't think about being trans. I came out within the secular community because of stuff with rationality rules and stuff like that. My original plan for coming onto YouTube was to do my electronics and 8-bit love and stuff like that.
And you ain't done a damn one yet.
Out of this shit. And yeah, it's not shit, but you know what I mean. I wanted to put my voice to it, so I outed myself again because I'd lived as stealth for the last 15 years. I just blended into society and didn't give a shit about all of this, but I thought I thought my voice was important enough to out myself. And that's the whole reason why I came back in. And then Jay, of course, with Eddie and everything, wanted me to talk to Eddie and stuff like that with his stream. So I made myself available to people as somebody who transitioned a long time ago to get my perspective of how things work. So I had absolutely no intention of, when I came back to YouTube, of actually outing myself as trans. I totally planned on being stealth and talking about 8-bit computers and electronics and stuff like that. I ended up in this community totally because of circumstances that were outside of my control. And I'm very grateful for that because I love the people. Jay and Raven are two of my best friends that I've ever made with at any time whatsoever. And people like yourself, Chris and Sam, I absolutely adore and love you. And I would never want for this to have been any way different from what it has ended up being. But it was never my intention.
So we've just got a Not Jar wants to come into the conversation.
Oh, please bring Not Jar in. He's awesome.
And so the link's been sent in the it was actually in the group chat that I think a few of us are in already, but I've just put it in. So jump in. I mean, it is Friday night 6-pack. So I mean, we started. We were 3 stubbies short of a 6-pack. Now we're 2 stubbies short of a 6-pack. So at least, you know, like people call me often,
we
will be
add, if we can get hold of Ozman, we can make it 6.
Bring it on.
I don't know if he's even awake at the moment. I mean, Ozman has so much stuff on his plate at the moment. I'm reluctant to actually harass him about this. But come on, Art, why don't you join us and make it 6? You can say something about this.
Get in early, you reckon?
Yeah, get him in early.
Debut next week.
Dave, Critical Cripple, because Dave has so many good things to say about stuff, and he rarely gets a voice.
Well, what I'm going to do is
I love Critical Cripple. He is amazing. He is one of my favorite people that I've got to know through Twitter and through YouTube, and his voice needs to be out there more.
All right, so what I'm going to do...
I've met so many lovely people. I love you all. You are all fucking amazing, and yeah.
Cheers, right? But not too many cheers. You got to get up tomorrow at 7, remember?
Finish this one, and I'm going to have to go to Lucy.
I'll go for it. I've already been once. You may as well.
You know the reason why
you got an empty bottle right there.
Because I am dressed so that I don't cook at the moment, and me getting up in front of everybody is not going to be a good look.
So what I'm going to do is I can remove you from the stream.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Shave his belly with a rusty razor.
Hey, my lovely.
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
Gotcha. You know you love me when I'm drunk.
Shit, I'm live. How you doing?
You know you love me when I'm drunk because I give absolutely shit to Mero.
But she's not here.
So just to answer...
I don't care. I'm going to give her shit anyway.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man.
I am pissed at her for posting those pictures that made me think that she'd met Adam Savage because she knows I'm pissed off about that. I am pissed at her because she got to go to Skepticon and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make up for it next year. And some fucking hell, I'm going to head over to Queensland and meet you fuckers.
So, Jen, you're all pissed about that she's going. How the fuck do you think I feel? I'm hearing all the dirty details. Like, I'm like, God damn it! God damn it, motherfucker!
Well, next year, you and I
Kool-Aid, you bastard! Why didn't you come and do a tour of Australia? Fuck yeah! I love you, dude. But Jesus, man. Well, I mean, I was meant to have hopefully gone this year too, but the fundraiser got exactly $0.
Well, next year,
there's no way I can
we need to start in January and fundraise for all of us, so we can all go.
Well, I've also got to consider. I've got to get Mac to US Skepticon or whatever it is. Say that again. I was talking over you.
I'm sorry. I was talking over you. But I think you should...
Yeah, that sounds better, actually. Yeah, say that again. You were talking over me.
Yeah, I was talking over you. Yeah, I will accept that because I'm drunk and I'm not actually not hearing people properly. I am struggling to hear anything at the moment.
Fair enough.
I was saying next year's one should be in Queensland.
Well, who organises it?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so if it was in Queensland, then we only have to fundraise for me to visit, and that would be fucking awesome. And I reckon
we'll have to talk with.
What about me? As Nolsey said, what about me? I'm not in Queensland.
What about
you have to come in second, mate.
It isn't fair. Where are you?
I'm
yeah, if you want to say.
You could have gone this year, Chris.
I'm in the greatest state in all of Australia, the premier state.
I thought you said you weren't in Queensland.
You already said you're not in Queensland. Yeah.
I am.
You guys are the state that gave us Pauline Hanson and Fraser Anning. So
fuck me.
Fraser Island and the Great Barrier Reef and Bundaberg rum and Mount Gay rum.
Yeah, good on you. I love you, Sam. You're my new best friend.
Mount Kosciuszko. Sydney Harbour.
Oh, yeah.
Except I hate Sydney, so
Sydney sucks, man.
Sydney sucks. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's
like there's great people in Sydney, but Sydney itself sucks.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, well, I was born and grew up in Sydney, but I was very, very happy to leave as well. So
it's a good place to sort of be on the outskirts of, like, a good hour or so away.
You've never lived on the outskirts of Sydney, then?
Well, I've stayed there. Like, well, I'm talking a good, I don't know, it was a 2-hour drive or something to Sydney.
Okay, well, that's all right. Yeah.
But it was more like hinterland, like fucking woodlands and stuff. It was really nice. But that's no different to Brisbane, really. You get an hour or so out, you're in the same shit.
Sydney City, I think, is one of the best cities in the world, like the CBD. I think it's, like areas like the Rocks and the Harbour, North Sydney. I just think it's sensational, but the suburbs, and I say this as someone who grew up in the suburbs are shit. So I was very happy to get out.
Brisbane's no better there, in all honesty.
Oh, half of my mates have moved to Brisbane. I mean, it's half of Sydney's gone up there, so
it's probably the money, like the affordability of it all.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a three bedroom house. I moved out of Sydney, the second to 3-bedroom house that was pretty basic, cost $1 million. I mean,
fucking hell.
And that was back at the time where there was dollar parity with the US. So it was literally $1 million US, $1 million Australian to buy a basic 3-bedroom house. So, but it's just not affordable. Mind you, that's Australia.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad everywhere like that. How bad is it over there in America, old Jay?
Oh, it sucks. I really don't want a beer.
Yeah, you're right.
The things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, did you guys hear about the law they passed in Ohio about there's 2 laws they're passing in Ohio. One is it's okay to get a question wrong on your science test.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah, as long as it pertains to your religious belief. And the next one they're trying to get passed is if a doctor doesn't try to re-implant an ectopic pregnancy into the uterus, he can be charged for murder.
He can, I heard about that too. That one won't pass. Like that just will not pass.
There's no way that will pass. Like,
the first one though, I'd be worried about.
I was like, and I thought Alabama was bad, but holy crap, Ohio!
Because I mean, doctors, they've got that right. Like they will not get punished for that sort of shit. Like that just will not happen. They can't happen. So, like I mean, it would be so bad that it would just be like nobody would allow that to happen.
Yeah, and you can't re-implant an ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah, like that's stupidity. Like trying to legislate itself. Mm-hmm. The first one is a worry because they might pass it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, that one is a little scary. And then of course we got Trump. So yeah.
Hey, hopefully not for that much longer.
God,
like, you guys have survived the worst of it.
I got bad news for you. You've got 4 more years of him. There's no way he loses.
At this point, I can care less who takes over as long as it's not Trump.
Yeah. The Democrats are doing it to themselves. They're absolutely doing it to themselves. Yes. All that happens when they start putting things like impeachment forward that's never going to pass, it's not going to get through the Senate there. All that it does is it just basically solidifies his supporter base, and it's the it's the us against the Washington establishment. He will win in a bloody landslide, and that's the sad thing, because there's a lot of good Democratic candidates out there, but it's not even going to be a race, because it'll probably be Elizabeth Warren, I think, at this stage, and she
dived below Bernie Sanders recently. Bernie's overtaken Warren.
Yeah.
No, only in California.
No, I mean the only person that has a chance is Bernie. There's no other. Like Biden has no chance. And all I'm thinking, I'm not saying like they've got a chance popularity wise. I'm saying a chance against Trump. Like if it was 1-on-1 against Trump, the only Democrat that's being put forward that could have a chance to, in a debate, slaughter Trump is Bernie. There's Elizabeth's great policy-wise. You know, she's pretty popular as well. Like, but she would never be able to stand up against Trump in a debate. She just couldn't do it. She could come up with a few good lines. She'd be there for a little while, but it wouldn't take Trump long to completely demolish her. Bernie would not be demolished by Trump. Bernie is better than that. Like, he has been around and through fucking worse idiots than Trump before. Whereas it's whether he is the one that becomes popular enough to get voted into that position. That's where it really becomes difficult, because then there's 12 or 20 other people in the race that mostly don't have a right to be there. You know, you've got Biden, Elizabeth, Bernie, Kamala left. Who else is there really that's actually legit? There are three.
Andrew Young. I heard I don't know anything about him. He's not in really. Like, he's going to drop out. There's no chance.
Who's the guy who, and I can't think of his name, he's the
Buttigieg?
He's the only openly gay guy in there. He's in his late 30s.
Or I'm pretty sure you're thinking
I'm pretty sure he's African American.
African American.
See, y'all follow my politics more than I do.
Not sure there, man.
Let's offer a legitimate vote to the chat. I have run out of booze in the glass. Do I pour another one?
That's called hard and fuck up. Go get another drink.
The chat has to vote. Do I pour another drink?
Look, I got another drink to join you, so you got to get another drink. And
I have to get. Okay,
I quite literally just
yes. Jay.
Look, Pastor just got a new drink. Like, that's 3 to the vote.
Hey, I'm still good.
All right,
there we go.
So who I'm talking about is talking about is Cory Booker.
What about people
Booker?
in the chat?
Oh, Booker.
I
think it was openly
Cory Booker.
gay. It was Booker gay. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
No, okay.
And the other one I liked, it was Tulsi Gabbard, actually. I thought that I like her because she's more towards the center. And look, it's no secret. I'm
that's fair.
Right in my political leanings, but from a US point of view, right wing in Australia.
No, I know you're not right in US.
Very different things. Yeah.
I got you.
No,
I'm not one to mistake that. Yeah.
So
I get you.
I quite like Tulsi Gabbard.
I'll admit she does have a good sway, even amongst progressives, which is good, but she's not going to win. Or in that, I should say,
she won't. But
she wouldn't.
But someone like her
Trump.
could beat
That's what
Trump.
I'm saying.
Actually,
I don't think so.
Because she's more that moderate, she'll bring back a lot of the voters who are kind of stuck in the middle there.
Yeah, definitely. And she's got a great backbone. Like, she's really got an ability to stand up for herself, which you need against Trump. You know, like, that's where I see Elizabeth is probably not going to be able to survive the entire debate. She'll be able to stand up for a little bit, but then at some point Trump will just demolish. Sort of
sorry, but great backbone sounds like a sexual innuendo.
At
least
maybe it was.
Coming from Nigel, so it really could be.
Yeah, take them both.
Yeah, you've got a great backbone. Let's get it on.
Got to use that backbone. But yeah, no, like I definitely give, like, I think she would have a good chance if she got into the race one-on-one against Trump. She would have a good chance. That is true. I just don't think she can be able to beat him. That's all. Yeah. And I see. I agree with you.
The thing is the establishment. So.
Yeah, and I agree with you that Bernie wouldn't have that moderate ability of being a moderate the way that
Bernie's too far to the left. It's Bernie.
Yeah,
Bernie
exactly.
will. And look, I don't like the socialist side of Bernie. I understand a lot of, or some of what he's saying. I mean, especially things like Medicare, because I mean, we've got universal health care in Australia, and it works. It does work. But it's hard for me, being where I am politically aligned, to agree with a lot of what Bernie says. But I think the reality is, if it was Bernie, I think it would widen the gap for Trump. But he's just too far to the left.
In all honesty,
but do you not think that it was that moderate persuasion that Hillary had that widened that gap in last one? Do you think it's not that a lot of these folk that were progressive didn't see what they wanted in their candidate from the left side, and that sort of helped a lot of people either not vote or push them to the right, like, which is
I think with
big thing
with Hillary. Where she made the mistake was she assumed she was going to win certain states. So states like Michigan, Trump went out and he campaigned hard, and he basically said, they were struggling for jobs. We're going to bring you a job, and no one thought he was going to win that one.
The sheer fact that she assumed that, and I grant you that she did. She had a terrible hubris. However, if she actually still came at her campaign with real policy, she may have garnered an actual audience, but she didn't.
Yeah.
Part of the problem,
and it's not just the fact that she assumed, because Trump might come at it with the assumption that he was going to win last time as well, and nobody else thought he was going to, but he knew he was going to win. He had a plan.
I don't even think Trump thought he was going to win.
Okay, for the first half of his campaign, he didn't, but the second
although I will say this, and this isn't indicative of my politics, but I actually won quite a bit of money on Trump because I actually backed him to win.
Well, yeah, because the odds were.
I would have been a good idea at the right
time.
Yeah,
I got him at $8. It was great.
Yeah, but to be honest, Hillary was not a good debater.
She was not good at anything.
No, and the problem is when the arguments you put up is you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a Nazi, you're a horrible person. All that happens is that just solidifies those people.
It just pushes people away.
Exactly, especially when you've got people who agree. Yeah, but the problem is that's still what's going on. It's still Trump's a racist, he's a sexist. We're going to impeach him, and the people who are sitting there going, "Well, hang on, we voted for him, and maybe we don't necessarily like what he did, but we voted for him, and now they're trying to remove him." Yeah, what he said is true. The establishment is after him, and they are. I mean, that's the problem. They've fed into his bullshit narrative, and they've made it true.
Well, part of the problem
the thing when this
at the moment is they want too much now instead of playing the long game. Whereas the right tend to play the long game more than the short game.
Yeah, absolutely we do. Yeah. And when I say we, I'm not Trump.
Coherent thought.
Yeah.
Go you. Good for you. Have another drink.
I poured another one.
Celebrate.
This is the last one I can have because I've run out of mixer, and I will not drink my Scotch straight.
Get some ice.
Now just to give everyone an update, we're at 94 subscribers, so 6 more, and I'll do the reveal.
Subscribe because I want to hear what Chris has to say.
So it'll be.
Can we just say my hair is beautiful?
Your hair is beautiful.
Sorry.
Whose hair is beautiful?
My hair.
Oh yeah, but you're sexy as fuck, Jay. But
I heard my name.
Well, Nacho, you're not even real, so I mean.
No, this is.
I'm a cartoon for kids.
None of us are real, apart from Jay. We're all actors.
Yeah.
I think it's an island off Governor. Just a shout out to Orla. I don't know if you've already gone, but thank you for being a part of the stream, and thank you for the comments.
Oh, she's heading off. Night, Orla. Much love.
Good night.
Night.
Big hugs and nibble on you somewhere.
I blame you, Chris, entirely, but hey, it's been fun.
That's the story of my life. Art brings up a good point actually on politics. Bernie, he doesn't accept corporate dollars, so I guess credit where it's due. There, he's it's a lot of microtransactions and things like that. I think about an hour ago I said no more politics, didn't I?
I might have been before
2
I
hours
showed
ago.
up. I do apologize.
It's politics is a fun thing. It's
I do love politics. I do. I have a
think
show
I
that's
think it's
about
funny
politics.
that the 4 Australians here know more about American politics than the one
Hey,
American.
whoa. Don't
I'm
lump me
sorry.
into that.
3.
I know. Fuck all about it.
Yeah, you can't count me at the moment, Jay, because I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about at the moment.
I spent like 5 years studying US politics. So,
Why?
Not an official level, like I wasn't going to uni. I just spent every day of my life after work researching everything I could before the media went crazy. And then ever since then, I've been like, oh, look at all this fucking crazy shit the Americans are on about now.
I'm actually in the process. Well, I'm planning on doing my PhD in history, but my my other major was politics. So
I love it. Like I don't love the there's a lot of boring stuff to politics, but I love policy. Policy, I really enjoy it. No, dude. We all know his name. I shouldn't say it, but no, dude.
See, my problem is I know I shouldn't talk about
the night's Ola.
Oh yeah, hang on. Yeah. You might want to clarify that in the chat there.
I made it coherent when you lot didn't.
You
didn't make it coherent. We barely understand what you're saying.
Jen here is the
one more Jen, and we're gonna have to kill a stream. You know, you can't be coherent. You're meant to be drunk.
Yeah.
I am drunk.
Yeah,
I am very drunk. I am so drunk that I actually feel nauseous. And if I vomit on stream, I know
it's going to be there forever.
It will be there forever. I will even cut that out and post it.
We'll timestamp it. Don't worry.
Okay. So we have
Get ready
a
to
new
full screen,
challenge. Make Jen throw up.
No, I'd have to clean it up, and there's nothing worse than cleaning up your own vomit.
That's not our problem.
Yeah, that
We
sounds
get
like
to
a you problem, Jen.
watch.
I'm thousands of miles away. It's not my problem at all.
Screw you guys. I'm going. I am already home.
You're already home.
So just to answer, I guess, Art's question, I definitely watch independent news. I try and avoid mainstream stuff. It's. I mean, I will listen to some mainstream stuff as well because I like to hear what's going out there. So occasionally, I'll get a 5-second grab of what Alan Jones has said or something like that because it's about all I can handle.
Oh, you're not going to watch Alan Jones, no.
The question is, do you watch Beck? I mean, I don't care if he's still doing anything.
Yeah, I don't even know who Beck is.
Is Beck still around?
What was his first name? I can't remember his first name, but God, he was
You're
Beck.
not thinking
he was so funny. He's so fucking dumb.
No,
it's so hilarious.
God, no.
Honestly, guys, I do not feel well.
Oh no.
I probably watch more YouTube than anything.
I will
YouTube's my primary source.
So
I get it from
a quick,
just about everywhere.
sub check.
What was that?
I'm just going to do a quick sub check because I've got a feeling I think we're going to struggle to get the 100 tonight. So it's the reveal may
Flex him with his 100 subs.
100 subs, and I'm actually going to reveal something about myself.
All right.
That won't completely dox me, but it might change the way people think about me. Or no, actually it won't, but it will certainly allow me to have some more conversations that with a bit more insight and a bit more credibility.
Really?
How many are you away?
6 away, I think.
6.
Yeah,
4 or 6.
We need 6 more. So, I'm at 94, so we need 6 more. Yeah, so which isn't bad. I mean, a week ago I was really struggling to get to 50, and then all of a sudden Navadia put something out, and up I jumped to 60, and then to 80 sort of fairly quickly after last week's stream, and now we're in the 90s. So I'd like to hit that magical 100 mark.
has the most subs out of Sam and Chris?
Oh fuck!
Oh, I've got 30. My last video was weeks ago. So
Sam, how did that happen?
I copied the wrong link.
I didn't post videos.
Who's
You know.
drunk, man?
Everyone's coming into the stream. Oh dear.
I deleted it, but jeez. Fuck,
Oh
no,
dear. So critical cribble. No, I'm not. I'm not going to come out.
I'm pretty sure we've seen his missus on stream.
Yeah, no, not on stream, but you guys have seen her on the after stream.
Okay.
One thing that isn't doxing myself. I'm married, 3 kids. And if you saw last week's video, sorry, I missed that. Oh yeah, I think you saw my 9-year-old, the oldest. Yeah, when she snuck in, she was trying to. Yeah, she's my big girl. I love that girl. Very cute.
Did someone fall over?
Yeah, there's. I'm going to say
close
there's a
the
lot
door.
of sound coming from Nacho's.
Yeah,
From Nacho there. So I mean, I don't know.
closing the door.
Do you want to know
Maybe
this?
Jen isn't the most drunk.
Gag reflex? It's right now because I would give anything to be able to go to the loo and make myself vomit right now. Sorry.
Nice.
I have totally destroyed the tone of the video now.
Jen, it was destroyed a long time ago.
Soon
worry about
as you came in, this thing was fucked.
For those who are just joining us, an hour 46 and an hour 48. That's all you need.
Fuck off.
And that reaction says it all.
It'll be an easy highlight reel for your next video on your channel.
Well, the good thing is when I cut to do the edited versions, I know exactly where to go now. So, and yes, but I'm just going to say to Critical Cribble, yes, that is true, but that only applies to Christian pastors. I'm certainly not one of those.
So you're a non-Christian pastor.
I'm definitely a non-Christian pastor. Well, technically I'm not a pastor.
But don't.
An atheist. Oh, yeah.
I like
well,
pastors.
technically I'm not a pastor.
Nice, especially when you have a nice tomato sauce.
Oh, no,
I'm
you need
going to run away.
Good white sauce.
It just struck midnight, so I'm out of here.
You're
Catch
out
you
of
later.
here.
Turn into a pumpkin.
Much love. Thanks
Love
for
you,
letting me
brother.
in, and thanks for saying hey. It's always good fun.
Good to see you.
Catch you next time, man.
Catch you guys. See you.
See you later,
Stick it,
Nigel.
mate. Okay, so I'm just going to do the quick sub check. We're at 95. Okay, we're at 95. 95. Ah. And look, I know 100 is just
You'll probably make the rest of them on Sunday.
I know, but that doesn't help me now.
Once the Americans are up at their normal times.
Oh, wow. I can no longer read the chat. I cannot focus on the words.
The problem is you stood up.
All that blood just
I
rushed.
don't think it would have made any difference, Jay. I have had way too much drink. I am beyond my normal limit. You know that bit.
You're also the only person who's in the stuck in a PM time zone at the moment, I believe.
I mean, oh god.
Warning for the rest of us.
Is it really?
Actually, well, it's
10,
just gone,
yeah.
it's on 1 a.m.
It's
for me.
past.
Yeah. Well, I'm 1 a.m. here, so I'm in the real Australian time zone here. So
Oh, fuck off.
AEST for life.
Oh, I don't feel good.
daylight savings.
No way. There's no way I'm finishing. Oh, I don't even know if I want to pick it up. I'm not finishing that because if I do, I will vomit.
Do you have a bucket?
I don't. And I don't want to try and get one because I don't know if I can make it there. I barely made it when I got up.
You've got something that looks like it can pull out behind you, so...
Yeah, I can pull a drawer out and vomit on shit. God, now I can't close.
Too many toys in that drawer, Jen?
Oh,
Shut up. That's not the toys. Toys are down here.
Or not enough.
Toys are down where she can grab them from the bed.
Yeah. Wrong drawer. They're in this drawer. They're in this drawer that apparently won't open. I don't have no idea what I've done to my... Oh, I do.
So, Artemis, that makes absolutely no sense. So if you want to elaborate in the chat, that would be good. I'd like to know what the made-up word was. And it's saying, well, the she, well, there's only one she here. So...
no, I'm not. I love maths, and I studied maths at I did TAFE. I didn't do university because I did a computer science degree. But I did study maths, but that's beside the point. I'm not. I love maths, but I haven't done a proper PhD or anything. And that was as articulate as I can imagine. Fucking hell. As I can manage at the moment.
You're on fire.
Yeah, sorry. I'm really pissed. And not pissed, angry, pissed, drunk. Just so that Americans know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're shit-faced.
Yeah, I'm shit-faced. That's the word.
So we've got shit-faced in Australia, but we've also, I mean, pissed is just kind of, I'm going to go out and get pissed. It's Australian thing.
Yeah, because in America, getting pissed is completely different.
Oh, we've got getting pissed in that sense as well, but contextually in Australia, we'll tell the difference.
Yeah, see, in US, we're not, not that.
The problem with drunk me is drunk me has absolutely no inhibitions.
You have inhibitions?
I don't have any inhibitions drunk. So
I don't think you have any when you're sober.
No, that's not true. I do control myself somewhat when I'm sober, but I don't control myself at all when I'm drunk. I would probably answer just about any question at the moment, so please don't ask them.
What's the square root of -4?
Sorry?
What's the square root of -4?
-4. The square root of negative is 2i.
Hey! Where I equals I -1. Where I squared equals -1, sorry.
The square root of -1 is I.
I'm a historian here, so...
You mean the square root of -1 is I.
Where I squared equals
Damn, you're in charge.
What? No.
I want to be in charge.
So here's my Minecraft server.
I am not drunk enough that you said that wrong. I have programmed algorithms for doing Mandelbrot sets.
No, you're right, but you've just got to make sure you add in the definition of I, where I squared equals -1.
Yeah, I squared equals -1.
Yeah. Because I could be any variable otherwise. I learned that in grade 12. It's my favorite part.
The square root of -1 is I is the other way of saying it, obviously.
Oh, well, yeah. Don't get specific with me.
Yeah, sorry.
So the best 8-bit machine is actually the NES. You got that wrong when you were talking about the...
No.
Which company is still successful?
I already pointed out why I thought Commodore failed. And I think
I'm just poking fun.
Failed because they invested all their money into the Amiga. If they'd actually stayed with their own developers, they would have actually done a lot better. And we might all be using Commodore computers now, or variants thereof.
I never got into the programming or anything, but I used to have a Commodore 64.
No, I say that, but Microsoft was always going to win the war because Microsoft held too many patents on things. So
once you rip off the GUI from Xerox, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, well, the original plan of the C65 was to use GEOS as the OS for the Commodore C65, and So it would have been quite an impressive machine if it had ever come to. Oh fuck me! I can't even make a sentence.
So all this talk about old school computing. I grew up with the Amstrad.
Where
does the Amstrad? That was I remember Ghosts and Goblins on the Amstrad, and that was some very good early childhood memories. And
the Commodore 64 version was better.
Well, see, I always wanted the Commodore 64. I was always jealous of my friends who had the Commodore 64, but I was assured by my parents that the Amstrad was the way to go.
Yeah, it depended on what you wanted, what games you wanted to play. If you were playing a 3D variant like Elite or something like that, the Amstrad was way better.
I remember we had Battle for Britain. That was Battle for Britain was fairly intense for the time when I look back at it, but yeah.
But as far as current arcade games go, the Commodore 64 is better at those. But I loved the color palette of the Amstrad. It was wonderful having a color palette. My ideal machine at the time would have been a machine that was kind of a mix of the Atari 800 and the Commodore 64. The graphics chip on the Atari was way better, but the SID chip was better than the Pokey. Despite the fact that a lot of people who were Atari 800s aficionados would argue with me, the SID chip was significantly better. If the SID chip had been what it was originally designed to have been, it wouldn't have been until the Sound Blaster 2 was released that there was a better chip than the SID chip. The original design of the chip called for 22 voices with full control over all their parameters like the original SID chip had. At that point, there was nothing until the 90s that was better than the SID chip. The only reason why that wasn't released as the SID chip for the Commodore 64 was they ran out of time to develop it.
I'm going to assume Critical Cripple's comment was directed at me.
Yeah, it was.
So, well, funny you mentioned that because my parents actually aren't religious, never have been. I was the first Christian in the family.
Wow, how did that happen?
He became convinced of Jesus being resurrected.
I watched a video by a guy called Dr. Kyle Bailey, and it did it for me. No, I actually I went exploring through religions and went actually. Wow, there's a long story there, but I went down a few different paths, and I used to challenge Christians because I thought it was all bullshit, which I do now, and actually got someone who had some apologetics that I didn't have the answer for because I just wasn't educated enough in it at the time. Got me along to church. Yeah, they said the right things. I was in a bit of a place at the time where I was looking for something. Got saved, so to speak, but the rest was history. So I think I got saved. I was probably about 22, 23. So from a non-Christian background. So I was the only Christian in my family. My wife, funnily enough, was the only Christian in her family. And when we met, the girls in her cell group, as they called it, actually warned her that it was all happening a little bit too quick, and that I had to be careful because they thought I might lead her away from God. And we laughed about that at the time, but we laugh now because it was so true.
Yeah.
That's lucky that you both came out.
See, my family right now, there's, of course, me, the Buddhist. Then there's two pagans, a Wiccan, a Christian, a spiritualist, atheists. We're all over.
See, so I think it's funny because I know in the US, Christianity is obviously a huge part of life, and it's not so much the case in Australia. And I think that's one thing, I guess, that's put me on the journey that I'm on right now, because I think there isn't the same, because there's so much Christianity in the US, there isn't the same support systems in Australia for people coming out, because it's not seen as such a big deal. It's just there's so much not giving a shit, or atheism, I guess. Even when we had an atheist prime minister in Julia Gillard, no one really gave a shit about that. They criticized everything else.
The country would go batshit if we had an atheist in office, in a high up office.
Was Julia actually an atheist though?
Well, she said that she was raised Baptist and she used to go to the services, but my understanding is yes, she is an atheist.
And in answer to Critical Cripple's thing, I am incapable of coding when I'm drunk. I am almost incapable of coherent thoughts.
She's incapable of speaking correctly.
Oh, fuck you. Although I think current evidence would back you up there.
146, 148, 153.
I thought you were going to go for 33 there for a second.
No, Ozzy's not here.
Yeah, but he might watch it later.
33 Ozzy, 33.
33 Ozzy. Oh.
I've just done the check-in. I mean, we're over 3 hours now, but I'm still at 95, so I don't know if the 100's going to happen tonight. I'd like it to.
I don't think the 100's going to happen. I don't know if I'm capable of going much longer.
I think I committed to 1 hour originally.
Yeah,
I was going to say that you've done that. I think you did the same thing last week, though, so I kind of take that with a grain of salt now.
Oh, well, last week I didn't know what to expect. It was the first episode, so let's be real here.
Well, now you're a regular. I mean, you've been on every episode, so...
It's very similar to Jay's, although Jay's very good at controlling how long he goes for.
Yep.
But I'm not drunk when Jay does his streams, so...
Yeah, I try to keep mine at about 2 hours because I realized that if you go much longer than that, people lose interest. You know, well, depending on the topic, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
Although I think people,
I probably tend to agree.
at the moment they're just laughing at me.
Yeah, that's why we still got 7 people watching. It's been pretty much between 7 and 8 people this entire time.
I think we hit 9 at one point, so that was.
Yeah, we hit 9.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
I wasn't as drunk at that point.
I'm going to blame Skepticon. It's because Skepticon. Yeah. Otherwise, we'd have 1,000. So.
It's all Mero's fault because she's not fucking here.
It's Daisy.
Because we've got no Lucius.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no Lucius.
No. But we did have Splash. Splash did pop up before.
Yeah.
So.
Cripple says we're waiting until she's drunk enough to flash.
I'm not going to flash. Although I have done that on streams. Not on streams, post streams.
There's a bit of a risque photo on Twitter from what I can recall.
That was from last week's stream where no, not the stream. What was it? I was in the chat of a particular stream and I said it was like 40 plus degrees here and I said it was way too hot and I'm naked. And Notcher said,
pictures.
Yeah. So I posted it in a private chat and he posted it to everyone.
You got baited hard.
I did. Not that I give a shit.
You should have known better. Go.
Well, I didn't show too much anyway, so I'm not terribly worried about it.
Technically PG, so
it was PG. I mean, you can see how well endowed I am, but you can't see any nipple.
Man, I had a photo shoot a week and a half ago, and it's like full body paint, full cap. Yeah, unfortunately, so I can't put them on bloody Facebook or Instagram or anything. Gives me the shits. I got to go in and edit them and like clone out the nipple so it's just skin, and then I can post them. I'll have to do that some point tomorrow.
So, incidentally, for those who are Aussies, and this is completely off topic, I've discovered something today that is absolutely amazing.
Vegemite? No, just kidding.
Shapes.
Vegemite shapes.
Like
Vegemite shapes.
And even better, they're in the shape of Australia.
That's the Vegemite logo, mate. Which is Australia. That was the joke, but clearly didn't land. Never mind.
Nope.
I feel like dry crackers because I've just had a few drinks.
No, dude.
Stop laughing at me, Jay. I promise I will not be this drunk on Sunday.
You'll be lucky to sober up by Sunday.
At all, actually, to be honest, I will be sober. I'll still just be as.
So here's the deal I'm going to put out with everyone. So I'm doing the refresh now, and we're at. If it ever comes up, we're still at 95 subscribers. I'll tell you what, 96, and I'll do the reveal. So one more subscriber, and I'll do the reveal, and it will be an interesting talking point. It will probably keep us going for another 10 minutes, but maybe longer.
I'm not up to the conversation at the moment, and like I said, I feel very nauseous. So don't make me sick.
All right. Well, I'll do. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. 95 is a good number, so I'll do the reveal anyway. Okay.
Oh, you're at 96.
Oh, there it is. You got it.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. All right, there we go. Okay, so now this is something I've mentioned to a few people offline before, but something interesting, and it doesn't completely dox me because I don't live in the area anymore. But for many years, I went to church with Scott Morrison.
Oh, Scotty. Scotty doesn't know.
ScoMo. So,
how are those arts programs going? Because he cut the arts.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't actually.
Oh, see, this is what I get for reading headlines.
Don't read headlines. No, what he did today was he they merged. They basically.
Oh, sorry, that's right. He merged it with which I'm not going to get into that actually.
I just lost 2 viewers. Wow. I did that and 2 people dropped off.
You know, ScoMo, fuck off.
Scott, oh, fuck this. We're out.
So, for those who don't know, Scott Morrison is the Prime Minister of Australia. He's a very out and proud Pentecostal.
He's an asshole.
And I went to church with him for many years and knew him on a very personal basis. Or, well, not a very personal, but in the sense that
knew him as a human instead of as a prime minister.
I knew him as a human, yeah. So I knew him before he was ScoMo.
Before he went on to go the changes necessary for prime ministership.
Would he recognise me now? Yes, he would.
Oh, it's a floof.
Yeah, she just woke up. She's not used to noise being out here so late.
Cripple, can you call him? I think we're about to lose Jen.
Yeah, I think it's probably a very, very good time to maybe end the stream.
Yeah.
I think, Jen,
I've only had 4.5 hours sleep in the last 24 hours, and I'm very drunk.
Wow.
So what I want everyone to do is, well, it probably won't apply to you too much, Sam, but we're going to put the drink count in. So that was a full bottle of Jameson, and that's where I'm at. End of the stream. Plus,
I got some.
That's all to go. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good.
1.3.
And how are the JDs going, ETC? Now, was that full?
No, it was just about the label.
Okay.
Oh, you're a weakling.
But well, considering you started at 6 a.m., I'm going to say that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed.
About 9:30 where you are now, or
9:20.
Look at that
excellent.
face.
So, what time do the pubs open there? Or the bars?
About 6 p.m.
in the morning.
No,
really?
p.m. No, they shut down.
PM.
Yeah, they shut down at 2 a.m. and opened back up about 6 p.m.
Oh, wow. Oh, ours are open at 10, so if they're not 24 hours.
Yeah. See, we can't have 24 hours. They won't let us.
We don't have 24 hours in Queensland, except for the casino, which gets a bonus because they're the casino and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
When I was in Japan, they stayed open till the last person left.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, that's a bad idea.
When the last person left, that's when you closed and locked the door.
You're not expecting us to shell ourselves, are you, Chris? Because I'm incapable of even remembering what my channel is called.
That's all right, because I've already put everyone's channels in the link, so everyone's covered there. So I will.
I do want to say something first, though. Tomorrow night, tomorrow, My stream
Sunday morning.
Your Sunday morning, my stream Saturday night will be the last time as End the Conspiracy. I will be changing it permanently to ETC.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing a tweet about that.
Yeah, because I'm hoping that'll kind of fix because with YouTube's crackdown on conspiracies and stuff.
Yeah, you were getting not promoted.
I'm not getting promoted at all, and so I'm actually I already changed it on Twitter, and like I said, tomorrow night my Saturday night stream will be last time is End the Conspiracy, and it'll just shut down to ETC because that's what most people call me anyways, either J or ETC. So.
See, Dave is asking if I remember my name. Yes, I remember my name, Dave. I'm really tired and really drunk.
And I'll quickly answer this question. No, I couldn't call him. I don't have his number.
Who's him?
Morrison.
Oh, Morrison. Yeah, okay.
All right, so on that note, I'm going to we'll go offline now. So thank you to everyone who really persevered, and I know there's a few of you who have been with us since the start. And
Art and Cripple for sure.
My lovely
Art Against Ignorance as well. Look forward to having you on next week, Art. It'll be good. Make sure you,
that'd be
you get the wines
amazing.
out.
Hopefully you get more drunk than me.
You know, next week's going to start with you lamenting on how you shouldn't have had as much as you had.
I am going to be so much more careful next week.
What have you learned?
I have learned that I've learned nothing because I already knew I was
You've learned that there's no evidence for the resurrection, Jim.
For more drinks.
Cripple said people will debate for years the conspiracy behind why I changed my name.
That's brilliant. All right, well, everyone, thank you so much for spending some time with us. As always, I am at atheist_pastor on Twitter. If you know anyone who is looking to get out of religion, or you are looking to get out of religion yourself and need some support, or even if you want to have a chat and try and convert me, please send me a message. From all of us, a good night or good morning, depending on where you are.
Good afternoon, good evening, and
good morning. That's the one. Thank you.